taxes!
He's a 10.
I choose this family.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 155 of 911 Lone Star Roundup. I'm one of your hosts, Grace, and with me are my lovely co-hosts, Katie and EJ.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Today, we're going to be talking about Season 9, Episode 4 of 911. I almost said 911 Lone Star, R.I.P.
Oh.
R.I.P.
I almost feel like we should keep that in. Today, we'll be talking about Season 9, Episode 4 of 911, which is titled Reentry. And as always, we have so much to talk about it. This was a whirlwind of an episode, so let's get to it. We open up back at the good old 118, and we have a whole makeshift clinic. And we sort of have a triage situation going on, and since the 118 is back in house, we're actually like able to attend to people with some medical experience. And everyone's helping the patients, including Harry. Like, Harry's already around. He's still hanging around. And May is kind of task managing. Like, she's sorted out all the
Clipboard May at the finance.
That's a good clipboard. Also, she's like giving me like a little bit of Maddie too, which I love. And I'm like, oh, is this gonna like really paint like a future, or like I don't know. I love it though.
Right. Yeah. And so Harry's saying how being there at the mall is helping keep his mind off things and not talking about it. Because, Buck was kind of trying to check in on him. But Buck's like, okay, noted. We love, like, Big Brother figure Buck. We've said that so many times over these episodes, but it's so true. He's really showing up. And, he's been checking in and seeing when Harry last ate. And Harry was saying lunch, but he doesn't think he could eat right now. Which, you know what? Nerves and everything he's seen over this whole day. We have May telling people where to go. And so we have Chim and Eddie working on this girl who apparently has a dislocated shoulder. And Chim tells this girl that Eddie can pop her shoulder back in place. And Eddie questions that Chim doesn't want to do it. And Chim is like, you got it. Now, yes, I think there is. So I do think there is the element of delegation, but I actually think it's more of, I think this is going to wind up being an issue. Because I think he's going to try after the amputation last episode.
Yeah, I feel like, well, and I think that's why Eddie was questioning him, because he was so adamant about doing the amputation that now Eddie's like, you sure you don't want to do it? Like, he seemed like he did earlier. Yeah. But also good, because I feel like it took Chim a moment to recognize that he may be a paramedic, he may be a good paramedic, but right now he's captain and he has capable people under him to do the job. So
right, I feel like that scenario is like a little bit different, just because like as a captain you are gonna sort of take on that role, because you're not gonna let your people like do something that like you're gonna protect them, which is sort of what he was doing. Where this is like something that obviously Eddie's done before, and it's much more minor than obviously an amputation.
And hey, Athena and Chim have now amputated limbs in the
oh my gosh,
I forgot about that
in the disasters.
It's true. Nami,
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, the captain of the 136, right?
Yeah.
See, I told you guys, like I've been saying that I need to rewatch some of these emergencies, because I'm like, I know once I watch them, like the details will come back, but it's like I forget all these like little moments. Like obviously I know for the most part, unless it's like an emergency I just really didn't care about, or I just have feelings towards, like personal feelings, I like forget all these things, and I'm just like, damn, because like they're good, or like some of them are really good.
But what I like is that certain things stand out to all of us, so then when we're like, we say something, it jogs the memory of somebody else who
That's
so
true.
It's like that.
Exactly. Like Katie and I both didn't remember that the amputation bit, so that's good recall, EJ. Yeah, so we get Karen. She comes back.
Yay.
She arrives at the 118, and of course Denny and Mara are thrilled to see her, and they ask about Hen, and Karen says hi, and she tells them to come on and that she's gonna tell them all about it.
And I love that even Mara and Denny were helping. Like, they weren't just standing around, they were like helping with water bottles and all sorts of stuff. That was cool.
Like, they're old enough to be able to help a bit, so it was good to see all of them kind of pitching in. And so Chim asks about the latest on Hen and Athena, and Maddie tells him that they made it to the ISS, And Chim's like, but? And Maddie says there's no knowing what kind of shape they're in or what's going on up there. And Chim says, so they're in a black box in the middle of space. And Maddie says, in the middle of a debris field.
Right.
Chim says maybe no news is good news. And Maddie says she hopes so. And sure. I could go either way on that one, I feel like.
Right. You want to hope for the best.
Right.
So speaking of space, we go to it. We wind up with we're back where they're being hit by the debris field. And so they're all getting thrown around, and amazingly, they all wind up still being pretty okay. Like, obviously, the captain was previously hurt, but she's no worse off than she was before. So there's that. So they have to figure out a plan, and the Captain Stanton is, asking what the plan is, and Hannah's like, well, we were hoping you could tell us. It's not that easy.
No.
And she's like, you mean Trip sent you here with no further instruction? And Trisha was like, oh, Trip didn't send us here. Hen says that her wife works at PAL and sent them there, and she reached them with a Meridian sat phone and tracked them here. And Stanton said Meridian doesn't work this high, and Hen is saying, they know she said there would be help, and Stanton's like, help is not coming. Which wasn't that a title of one of the tsunami episodes, actually, come to think of it? Was it a tsunami or earthquake? It was one of the disaster episodes. I want to say it was the tsunami or the earthquake. There was a title of one of the episodes. I am fairly sure. Anyway, that just threw me back. We're talking about all the disasters, okay? It took me back. Anyway, all their comms are down. There's no way of getting in touch with anybody on the ground. And Parker asks about a space pod, and she says yes, but it only seats 4. And Lewis says that they can strip it down and he can rig up more seats. Athena asked if that will work, and Stanton said it could, but the space pod won't launch after the second debris hit. The docking ring is stuck. Naturally, because why wouldn't it be? So the robotic arm is broken, and the dead astronaut, who we do actually wind up learning his name at some point,
I think
but
it's a little bit later, but
yeah, but the dead guy, as Parker puts it, was doing maintenance on it when they arrive. So someone needs to get out there and finish what he was doing, and Lewis says that he will do it because the captain has a punctured lung, and he's the only other one that has NASA training. And I think we all like.
I will say this: Trip did one thing right by putting somebody that has some sort of NASA training on there. Just saying.
He did something right by having a first responder and a NASA trained person on there. Because,
agreed.
Well, two first responders. Let me correct myself there, but
Mhm.
yes, 2. That was at least a plus in their scenario, I guess.
Yeah, like he accidentally did something.
Yeah, it was good blessings. Good blessings, I guess.
Accidentally did something.
I'm not giving him credit by saying it's all
Oh yeah, for sure, not giving him credit. He coincidentally, gave a good blessing, I guess.
It is funny that his definition of heroes being so skewed actually kind of okay. But we all love Parker being like, no offense, but that was when the Brady Bunch was in its original broadcast run.
I laughed so hard at that.
I thought that was so funny because my mom grew up on Brady Bunch, and to the point that her and her cousins would talk about the Brady Bunch when I was growing up. They would be like, oh, and this and that, and I know certain details about it, but I've actually
Marsha.
never seen it.
Oh my god, I grew up.
I've never
they used
seen
to
it.
sing the theme song. I'm not even kidding. So I know details like that.
Yeah. See, the only reason I know
can prove that she's a lot older than the other two is because EJ's raised in the 80s and 90s.
Well, see, what's funny is I grew up watching a lot of older TV shows, definitely older than me.
True.
TV shows. And I somehow never watched the Brady Bunch, so the only reason I know anything about the Brady Bunch theme song is actually when the actors from Marvel did their parody of it. And that's how I know.
I've seen the make fun of Brady Bunch movie, or at least parts of it.
Yeah, they specifically recreated the theme song, but in a Marvel style, and that is how I know something about it. It was really funny. But yeah, so love the reference for sure. So anyway, going back to Lewis, Hen says that they need him here working on the escape capsule, and that they don't have an hour. And the captain questions who then, and both Hen and Athena says they will do it at the same time, and then they look at each other. Hen says, "Let's get to work," and we are running out of time. So we are full tilt on this episode. Like, we're not wasting time. So we go back to the before interviews with Athena, and the question is posed of what makes an everyday hero. And Athena says she doesn't consider herself a hero, everyday or otherwise. She's just a working mom, and she puts on a uniform, but it could be a waitress or a mail carrier uniform. It's a job, that's all. It's not like in the movies, you spend a lot of time on patrol, waiting, watching, and paying attention.
Right.
And then we get an Athena flashback.
I love this. And also, like, I love that she said that she doesn't see herself as a hero, which I feel like any real
Yeah.
first responder would say that. But it
Right.
also, like, goes with the fact that, like, anybody can be a hero.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you could, like, somebody could be having a really bad day and you could just, you know, have that, like, conversation with them or just be there for them. And, like, that makes you a hero. Like, anything makes anybody a hero. And it's like you might make an impact, but you're like, oh, it's nothing. Like, and I feel like that's
Yeah.
just how we are.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. I will say this ahead of, and we're not even past like the first bit of the interviews, but I really liked these conversations that were had and felt them very
Mhm.
deeply as someone also entering the first responder career herself. Like, yeah, that hit smack in the solar plexus.
But I love that we were getting like this Athena flashback because honestly, I was not expecting this.
So I got spoiled that we were doing because I logged on Instagram and I saw the girl who plays young Athena was doing like a behind the scenes kind of deal. And can I just reiterate that they casted young Athena so good. They did such a
Right.
good job.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw like a behind the scenes video of like her and Angela. I believe also they were like taking pictures for the episode when the video I saw, which was super cool to see. I loved it.
Yeah. So it's 1998, and Athena's waiting on her order, and her partner comes in asking if she's still waiting. And Athena says she's waiting on coffee, that the waitress is making a fresh pot. And she just winds up calling out her partner, McCluskey, saying, "Cops and donuts, my God, did you corner the stereotype?"
So funny. Like
Yeah,
I
it was
was
good.
like I love when they call that out.
Yeah, I love a little poking fun at that. And he's like, two things as a cop you never want to need or be without: your gun and cruller. And he's got his breakfast glaze and his post-lunch Boston cream. And I think it's like your pre-dinner heart
support that.
attack.
I can support that as somebody who is like around like donuts like almost every day of my life. Like I'm just like, and the funniest thing I have to say about that is literally my coworker that literally makes or does all the donuts. He's always like, yeah, they don't have the skinny dude make the donut. And that's like my favorite thing when I think about these types of scenarios.
And Athena gets her coffee and asks for cinnamon and the bill. And the waitress lets her know the guy in the corner paid for it. And Athena's like, damn, he's coming over. And her partner's like, oh, God forbid.
That was so cool.
Well, she had been playing with the engagement ring from Emmett, prior to like as the scene started.
Right.
Yeah. And Athena's like, weren't you complaining about your female partners coupling up? And he's like, I haven't been in issues. I few leads, but then he's a romantic deep down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this guy actually. He's chill. And the guy comes over and says, "Morning, Officer Carter, is it?" Yeah, I think we all sort of.
I think like we all early on clocked what they were doing.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, I know who that is. Don't even have to say a name.
Right. I wasn't
positive off the bat, but like I was like,
the second we saw him and he walked over, I clocked it so fast. And like I don't always like catch on to these things like right away. For the most part I do, but like I knew what they were doing and I was like, "Oh, I kind of like this." I don't know what their reasoning, but I love it.
Yeah. And so Athena thanks him and says, this wasn't necessary. And he says how he disagrees. He sees her in here most morning protecting. And so we figured that the least he could do is serve. I will admit, like, I kind of tuned out half of this because it was giving me such bad secondhand embarrassment. Like, it was a little rough for me personally to watch, but the flirting. He knows her coffee order: black coffee, 2 sugars, and a cinnamon chaser. And she says, some might call that stalking. And he says, or some might say I'm an active listener. And McCluskey is saying, don't mind Carter. Her idea of flirting these days is reading Miranda. And he's like, oh, maybe that's why I don't see a ring on your finger. I was like, okay. Kind of stepped in that one, but sure. Not intentionally. Hennethy's like, it's really not. And he was like, maybe you just haven't met a man skilled in the ways of courtship. I I was struggling with this bit for an entire different reason. It was just
It was just like he
obviously
was
he doesn't
trying too
know.
hard
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. And he's polite and brings flowers. And he's like, mothers love me. And Athena says, my mom is in Florida.
I loved her saying that. She's like, my mom is in Florida, like, and I'm just like, the way she is even then reminds me of how she is now so much. Like, just,
Yes,
and I love how they just like cornered those, like, Athena things. Like, they really just
yeah,
established that, which I love.
for sure. And Athena tells McCluskey, they have to go, and thanks Guy for the coffee. And then we bounce to Athena and McCluskey in their patrol car. And he says he's trying to figure out what was wrong with that guy. And she said he liked to hear himself talk. And he asked when the last time she went out on an actual date. And she says none of his business. She says she's no Sunday school teacher. She does fine. And he's like, I didn't ask you about when the last time you got boots with some random guy last call. And
I
he
would
asked
hope
her
not.
yeah. And he asked her when last time she allowed herself to get serious with someone. And he's like, how long has it been since Emmett died? 7 years. And Athena says he didn't die, he was murdered. And it's coming up on 8 years. I'm glad they established the timeline because I was wondering it during the entire flashback. I was like, I didn't even notice the year, so I didn't have really a frame of reference on how far out. I was like, is this a year? 5
Yeah,
years?
I
Like
didn't realize
6
the
months?
year until I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, okay, and stuff. And yeah, that made total sense. And I had
Yeah.
figured that it was like after that point, since obviously previously we have gotten like the flashbacks of all that. So it was very interesting to get all this.
Well, originally I was like, I didn't catch her toying with like the engagement ring at the very beginning of the scene. And I was wondering, I was like, are we going like way back and we're gonna like do some parallels between Emmett and Bobby? Like what how far back are we going? So I am glad they established kind of early on because I was like, what? So he asks if she thinks it's time to get back out into the world. And she says she is out in the world 5 days a week with you. And he says he would like to see her with someone nice. And Athena's like, why do you care? And he says pure self-interest and says it's better to ride with a partner who has a reason to want to make it home at the end of the day.
He's not wrong for saying that. I mean, she could have easily been like, I'm fine going out, somebody shoots me, I'm not gonna fight for it. I could see why a cop would be like, yeah, I want my partner to like fight to get home.
Right.
But
and like I understand like her point of view of it because I have family that does that to me where they're like, oh, you should meet somebody, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, I'm always so quick to shoot it down because I'm just like, let me live my life, like whatever happens like leave me alone. Like
Also,
if
it's
you
my damn
literally
business.
bother me about something, you pester me about something, I will literally go the other direction just out of the point.
Human
I'm
nature.
kind of stubborn like that and I don't want to be, but it's just like I just don't feel like being nagged is my thing.
Yeah. Also, like, get your business out of my business. Like,
literally.
And so Athena calls him out, and we love this by saying, says the guy who has 2 ex-wives and no pets. And he's like, believe me, when I was married, I had a lot less incentive to want to make it home.
That was fun.
I was like, oh. And that's why they're exes. And Athena takes her eyes off the road for like 1 second, and it has to be like, car! And she swerves, but these 2 other cars collide. And McCluskey checks on the driver while Athena calls in. And they figured out it wasn't an accident that killed him, or even that caused the accident. They realized he was shot. And this leads them to figure out where the shot came from. And as they're trying to figure it out, they come across a security armored car, which of course leads to a bank robbery. So they take on these guys, and McCluskey ends up getting shot. And Athena says she has to get him out of there. And we go back to the interview, and Athena is saying how she is no hero. She's worked with a few throughout the years, and the reason that she's sitting there is because they're not. And the real heroes are the ones that never made it home.
Not wrong.
Anyway, back up in many miles up into space, Lewis is rigging the space pod, and he needs Trisha and Parker to give him a hand. And Athena is looking out at Joyner, who is the guy who died.
Mm-hmm.
And Athena is asking if he had family. And Strahd is like, excuse me? And Athena asks if he left anyone behind. And she says 2 kids, Nora and John, and his wife, and that apparently they were trying to make things work. And she explains to Athena that the tether that is now attached to her is her lifeline. And she tells Hen what to do, but it's Athena that's gonna do it. And Athena, back in the interview, says that you're not signing up for the danger. It comes with the job. And then she's asked about why she signed up. And we see a flashback of Athena and Emmett.
Because we know why she signed up.
And she said,
show we know.
Yeah. And she said that she felt like she could make a difference. Simple as that. And so we go back into the flashback, and we hear the gunshots, and Athena's trying to keep McCluskey awake. And Athena radios, and Rick radios and tells her, oh, it's Rick. And she tells him that they are pinned in Plaza on the south side of the conflict. And she says McCluskey is down and they're going to need emergency evac immediately. And Rick says it's going to be a moment. They can't get over there. They're outgunned at the moment. Snipers are getting position, but air support had to get out there apparently because they were being shot at. SWAT will be there in 15 minutes. And Athena says McCluskey doesn't have 15 minutes, and Rick's like, I'll let command know. So Athena, obviously, she's smart. She's working out a plan, and she helps McCluskey into the street and gets him to the armory car. And that's the plan anyway. And he's just like, we're gonna just walk out. And she's like, no, we're gonna drive, because she stole the keys earlier on, which is the whole reason they're in the shootout.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, I can drive this out of here.
I love that Rick is in here. I forgot that they.
Yes.
I was like, Rick.
Well, yeah.
The funny thing is, it took me until literally this to be like, oh my gosh, this is the Rick that we have seen before.
Romero, yeah.
Because I didn't sit together while I was watching the episode. I was just like, whoa, who's this dude? And the guy's a mighty fine actor, I'm just gonna say. He's a fine looking actor.
I love the little details and the fact that this is Rick, like the Rick we know. Mm-hmm. And I love it because
the Rick we know and love.
Yeah, literally. I love it because like it's just such a like I didn't realize that they went like this far back, and obviously we get more details later in the episode that I just love even more. And we're knowing him as Officer Rick Romero, which is also very cool. And I'd never realized that like, oh, they knew each other here. Yeah. Like I guess I would have assumed that they met much later, but I think it's really cool. Right. And they also like the casting with like young Rick is so freaking good. Like it makes total sense, and I'm just like, I love it. Like they really just ate with this.
Yeah, they did so well.
They really did. Like all the young casting they do, like all over the place, is just phenomenal. So absolute slay on that part. So we're back up into space, and I love the scene that we get. Trisha finally says, God, if we get home, I'm so breaking up with Trip.
I'm like, good job. Finally realizing you needed to get away from him.
I was like, oh, honey, you're finally getting it.
And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And, there's a little something there with Parker. Oh,
He remembered
okay.
her astrological sign.
Yeah.
She's a
I feel like I
Gemini.
didn't
See, I did
like
too.
really connect what they were trying to do here until like the later scene because I feel like it was very apparent there.
Oh,
But
I clocked it immediately in this one. But
I
like I
feel
did
like
clock other stuff earlier, so I feel at least I got this one off the bat.
yeah, I don't know. I just guess like this didn't like hit as hard for me. I was just like, oh, whatever. I guess like also like I felt like we were bouncing around so much that like
Yeah.
the different details, like rewatching it, I'm like trying to obviously take notes on it. I was just like, man, I'm getting whiplash from all this. Like, this is taking much longer than I would like it to.
Yeah.
But like,
Absolutely.
it was just like we're moving all over the place, but also in the episode, I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I do, I don't know. It's one of those things.
And so Athena is going to save them. She's all suited up. And Hannah's like, I said I would do it. And Athena says, oh, I heard you. And Hannah asks Lewis and the captain give them a moment. And Athena says that the astronaut out there has a family who thinks he's coming home. And so does him. And Athena says to Athena, you do too. And Athena says that she plans on seeing them soon, but if something goes wrong, May and Harry are grown. Athena says she won't risk Hen's kids losing their mother or Karen losing the love of her life. Athena would know. And Hen says Athena can't decide what risk she can take, and Hen says that she shouldn't have been up there anyway, that she made her come with her. Athena says she said yes because there's nothing left for her on Earth.
It was so
And
sad to hear.
yeah,
I
Right.
get that it's like
yeah.
in the moment you don't think about these things and we all like do that, but it was just like, ouch.
It's like it absolutely hurts and is destroying, but at the same time, like I will not hear like a lick of criticism towards Athena on this because
Oh,
this is
absolutely.
literally part of grieving. Like she cannot
Yeah.
see past her grief.
Right.
Right.
And she does have a point that her kids are grown. Like obviously they still want and need their mother. Like that. We're not losing that. But like she clearly like she's just thinking about her loss.
Yeah.
And it's so tough. It was so tough to watch this scene, honestly. And Hannah says it's not true. You have people who are willing to do anything for you. And Athena says she has more in heaven. Hen says that's not heaven, that's space. It's cold and empty, and he's not out there. And oh,
I think
That
it
was,
also goes back to the fact that like a lot of people will tell like children that oh like daddy's up there or whoever it is up
yeah.
there. People obviously associate space with like their loved ones looking down on them. That's
yeah.
not really how it works,
Yeah.
but I
No,
also
no,
get the
not really.
sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like up is metaphorical.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's really up is the cold heart of space. I mean, if you want to get like super specific, it's all around you as well. It's just like super,
Oh
super
yeah, for
around.
sure.
But so Hen goes on saying, you know, I lost him too, and Thea says, but not like I did, and like that. Yeah, that's true. And she said she's not doing this because she's altruistic. She's doing it because she can't lose anyone else, and all that she has left is her. And Athena says Hank can try and tear the suit off of her, but it'll take her 10 minutes to put it on, and they're running out of time. And so Athena goes out. Back in the interview, and Athena's asked if it's worth it. And she says that she thinks it is. She says, you do this job because you want to make the world a more ordered place, not just for the people you meet on the street, for the people you love. You want it to be a better, safer place for them. And they're absolutely the reason you find a way to make it home at the end of the day. And she says that for her, it's about her friends, her children, and her husband. And like you kind of see her just kind of realize all over again that it's not her husband anymore. And we like that moment of grief. And then we get this flashback image of, wasn't it Bobby on their first date?
Yeah. But even like yeah, it was a flashback image, but like it also was like the glow on him. So it's just like
Mm-hmm.
how you see people when they pass on. And something about that when she said, and my husband, and then like her face, and
Yeah.
then like seeing the flashback. Oh my God. I was just like,
It's
oh
like
my,
it was just like her heart breaking all over again.
Right.
right.
That's kind of what I saw.
Literally.
Was like, and I think that's so much about grief is encountering the loss and the realization of the loss over and over and over again. And we
Right.
saw that here. And it's like, oh my. And did anyone else just about lose it when they showed Bobby? Because I did.
Yeah.
And
I
like
cried multiple points during this episode, and this was just
yeah, it did. It made me sad, but also like it just reminds me of losing people and being like, oh, I want to call this person, and then you're like, oh, I can't do that. Yeah, I have that
Yeah.
moment all the freaking time with my grandma.
Yeah.
And I had it like after she passed, and this is like almost around Christmas. It'll be or on Christmas. It'll be 5 years ago, and I'm just like, what the heck is time? And just yep, that's just
It's tough.
yeah,
And I feel like Athena's been going through more of a denial recently of the
right.
whole
Yeah.
grief process. And, she's coming into some realizations. I don't think that she ever really wanted to. And I mean,
Yeah.
shoot, my mom died like 11 some odd years ago, and it still hurts to this day. So like, Athena, it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt for years to come. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like the 5 stages of grief like don't all happen in one particular order, except like the
Well,
acceptance is the last stage. But you can like go back, like you can have resurgences of each of them and experience them in all sorts of orders and all sorts of different timelines. And she's definitely been in the denial and anger bit of things for so long. It's difficult to watch.
and I think this was even some bargaining too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
And so Athena goes out there and she's doing what she has to. And of course, there's just the dead astronaut just
You're
floating
like
there.
so close to him, like the way they like pan so close to him, it was literally
Yeah.
scary. Like I was like, Happy Halloween, here we are, because we were like right up close to him, and I'm just like, it was creepy, like hands down to like the special effects and like makeup department, because oh my god, guys, I was like a little terrified, but for a minute there.
Right before we started recording, I saw a behind the scenes video of the guy who
Yep,
played the
yep, I
astronaut
saw
in
that.
full makeup and everything. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Which like the makeup's super cool and everything, but it was like it didn't freak me out as much as it did when we first saw them. Like first saw him like when he smashed against but like, yeah, no, I'm
See,
good.
this was more close on that, so I was just like, ooh.
Right.
Yeah. Like
And
it was a little gnarly.
Yeah, and this did air on like Halloween Eve too. So it was like
right?
I can see.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I didn't even think about that because I didn't watch it till today.
Yeah.
So Athena has 20 minutes before the debris comes back around. And like a bit of it comes back. Like not the full forest, but like a little piece. And she has to dodge it. And she hit the station and she busted something. And you can kind of see the hiss of the air as she went back out because she had to fall to dodge it. And her breathing's getting more labored as she does her work because she's no longer getting the amount of oxygen that she needs.
Right.
And Athena gets stuck, so she can't reach. So she unhooks herself from the tether because she doesn't have time to go back and unhook herself or unstuck herself, which she's probably right that they don't, but it's still not a great thing. And she's yelling, what are you doing? And Captain's like, I'm guessing she doesn't do good with orders. And as Estelle, she loves to give them.
Yeah,
I love that line. Like it's just like, yep, totally like I know it's a little bit different, but like totally like a Buck moment. But like in a different capacity. It's just like maybe not the smartest thing to do.
Right.
But
Oh,
like
absolutely not.
but like I get it at the same time. Also like I'm just like a little terrified of just all this.
Oh, yes.
You couldn't
My
pay me
stress
to do what she's
levels.
doing.
My stress levels, I will tell you, we're not doing well this entire damn episode. And this is after me already having my stress levels up to 3,000. So yeah. So we go back to the flashback. Athena helps McCluskey get to the armored car. As she's walking around the car, she's shot in her leg. And nope, you thought we were back in the flashback. Now we're back in space. So Athena's breathing is getting even more labored, and Athena's saying that she's just winded when Hen asks if she's okay, and that apparently Athena's heart rate had jumped to 110, which is okay. Her O2 tank is full, but the flow rate is slow. and that she's not getting enough O2. Stanton figures out that the regulator must have gotten damaged when she took that hit. Her flow rate just continues to drop. And Hen studies what's happening and tells her she needs to slow her breathing, otherwise she will die of hypoxia. And they're telling Athena to return to the airlock and ask if she copies, because she's just managed to finish fixing the arm. And they're like, okay, you need to get the fuck back here. And so while we see this, we also are getting the flashback with her being shot and the gunfire, and she winds up throwing herself into the back of the armored car along with McCluskey instead of, like, obviously into the driver's seat. And so they're just, like, stationary in a bulletproof room, essentially. And we wind up we're going into the interview, but now we see who's asking the questions, and it's young Athena to current Athena. And young Athena's asking older Athena where she is right now. And Athena looks at her, and when she does, we just see Athena floating in space. And Hen is asking Athena if she copies, and screaming, but Athena doesn't hear her, and Hen says she's going to be unconscious if they don't get her inside. And the captain says even if they had another suit, which they don't, they would never make it to her in time. And Hen moves the arm to Athena, the dexter arm that Athena went out to fix, and she tells Athena she needs to reach out, just as young Athena tells her that she needs to let go. And we go back to the flashback, and McCluskey's asking if she's hit, and she says yeah, and he gives her a tourniquet. And Athena asks Romero if he copies, and he's like, Rick, damn it. And McCluskey says, forget it, this thing is steel plated. Athena tells him that she's sorry, and he says, no, I'm the one who's sorry. You said wait for backup, and that, I should have listened to you. And she says, well, maybe next time you will. And he's like, yeah, I'm not making it out of here. And she says, like, hell, you won't. And he tells her that if she does, and he starts telling her his dying wishes, like he wants a whole shebang. And she's like, stop, like, you're not dying today. And he tells her that she needs to get rid of that jewelry. And you can tell, like, she's shocked. And he says, you think I didn't know you're wearing it under your uniform?
Right.
Oh, I did. And he tells her to get rid of it. It's not regulation.
Did anybody catch what his first name was?
That was a great
I know they
question.
mentioned it later, but they
Hank.
pretty much wait, what?
Hank.
Oh.
Which Harris and Harry can be nicknames for Hank, so I'm wondering if that's where Harry got his name.
Oh.
That's a good thought.
I feel like that's like too
that's a new head. That's a new head canon. I would love to get a confirmation of some kind, but okay. Also, of course, every older cop in these things is always named Hank.
Yeah, she's got a point.
Like, yeah. Also, okay, that's
all
good
points. Oh, that's so funny.
And she chuckles a little and is like, since when does she care about regulation? And he said she's supposed to learn from him, not become him. Guys, I don't know why that hit me so hard, but I actually think that is one of the lines that hit me like the most in this entire fucking episode.
I know, it did.
Because I basically just went to shut down, like, what the hell?
Also, he said, there was just, when he was talking about his wishes, he said, like, at my funeral, get up there and say some nice things, but I do not want you, standing foot on my grave. Like, that's the only time
never step foot on my grave again.
Yeah, I just, like, that is just, like, so emotional, too. And it's just like, oh my god, that gives me chills a little bit. Because it's like, to our knowledge, from what it seems like, he has nobody. So just the fact that it's just like, it makes you sad, like, seeing those graves and, like, there's never anything on them. And you're just like, oh, I wonder if they don't have anybody.
Yeah, for sure. And Athena's like, hey, no. And he passes out, and she tells him to wake up as we start hearing gunfire. And she gives him CPR as we hear young Athena's voice telling Athena she needs to let go, that she's hung on for so long and that she's been through so much. And this is when we see her. And she tells her that she could. And he's like, what, float away? And Athena's like, wouldn't that be so nice? Away from the pain, all the loss, so much loss, and for what? What's it all been for anyway? Guys, I was fucking dying.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Yeah,
really emotional.
same.
and Athena sort of takes back the narrative. She says for all the moments in between, no matter how far apart they may be, like stars. There's so much dark in between them. And we're seeing Athena in space with all the stars behind her. Cold, empty, and forever. But as long as there's light, there's hope. And they keep us going, those stars, those moments like a dance between lovers or a laugh between friends. They pull us along. They warm us. They blaze. Rick comes for them, and we hear Athena say, with all that's good, and tell the darkness, not today. And like this, the emotion that was happening in the scene, because originally, like, we had young Athena trying to persuade the older Athena to let go and everything, and then older Athena starts speaking, and we just see like young Athena just breaking down. Like she's crying. She's got so much, and it's like I think it's just there's something about like holding the pain of your younger self a lot,
Right.
and watching that here.
Yeah. It's like if only we could all like have a conversation when we were younger self. And I've seen this in so many like mediums, like books and stuff, which I really enjoy. Just something about it, like thinking about it. I was thinking about it earlier. Like even like in the form of like, oh, you take a video and you're like asking your older self questions and then you answer them later and like stuff like that. Like it's just like, oh man, like and just the emotion and stuff with like Athena and her younger self. And like even
Yeah.
just for like the actresses and stuff, like it was such like a beautiful like a beautiful moment and a beautiful scene to see like the
Yeah.
emotion that they had.
Well, and it was powerful the
Yeah.
way they filmed it too, because at first you just
Right.
Athena's answering questions, and all of a sudden you see that it's her younger self asking questions, and I think it was it got me. I was like, oh, this honestly, it was really good, like really powerful the way they did it.
We kind of go a little bit back into the like the present for the space scene. We've got Han telling Athena to grab the arm, and Athena is saying how pain is the price that they paid for joy, and it's a fair trade, a good deal, because any second, instant moment of joy is like a diamond in the darkness. And younger Athena is tearing up, and she says, like stars. Athena now says, but letting go and floating away is not how you get to the next one. Which, like, damn. Yep.
Yeah.
Younger Athena questions, then how do you? And Athena says by reaching out and going together. And Athena and her younger self they reach out their hands together and take each other's hands. And Athena grabs onto the hand in space, and Hen's putting her hand on the window. And Athena says, let's go home. And I do love that in this metaphor, like the whole metaphor that we just got, there was also throughout this, like Hen, Athena's best friend, is reaching out her arm.
Right.
Like doing everything
Yes.
to reach, like even if she
Yeah.
can't physically reach out there, she's reaching something else to get to Athena. And I just think that was just there was so much underlying there that like, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people did think that Bobby was going to be the one to get Athena like home essentially. But I love that it was
Yeah.
actually like Athena's
Yeah.
younger self because we've seen like
Yeah.
Bobby rescue Athena in
Yeah.
like so many forms, and I think it was just so beautiful that it was Athena and her younger self that were able to almost help each other, and
Yeah.
that like this is what Athena needed is like herself. And it was just like such like so like beautiful, and I loved it.
I also think there's something to be said for the metaphor as well of like, as painful as it is to say, like Bobby's not going to be there to save her anymore. But Bobby's not going
Yeah.
to be there to keep dragging her back or helping
Yeah.
her. And like
That's
that
a
is
good point.
that's so painful because like, yes, we want him to still be there. We want him,
Yeah.
but he's not.
Right.
And so like she
Exactly.
has to be able to like rely on herself, which is because we see like all these moments of loss, all the times that she did have to rely on herself and keep learning how to rely on herself. And it's like you wish she didn't have to anymore. But I feel like we're kind of watching her build a healthier relationship with it through dealing with her younger self's pain. So yeah, it's all really painful. And really on the nose. But I do like that, of course I'm sure we all would have loved to have seen even more than the flashback we got of Bobby. But I do like that they didn't go that route because this is about her moving on.
Yeah.
And so, as Athena said, let's go home. So now the Dexter arm is repaired, and we've got only a couple minutes till the debris field is supposed to come back around. So Lewis gets all the systems up and running and ready. And Athena says there's only 4 seats. There's 6 of them. And Lewis says there's 5. Hen needs to monitor the captain's bum lung. They need to lower the pressure so that her lung doesn't explode. And Athena questions, there's 6 of us. Then it's revealed Lewis is going to stay behind. He says someone has to be there to operate the Dexter arm. Otherwise, nobody's going to survive. I will say I did not see this coming. And so I was
didn't
like,
either.
Lewis!
I mean, it was like
it makes sense.
It makes sense, but like it was also like surprising because it's just like, okay, so what are we gonna do?
All right. No, I totally saw that coming.
I do love that they used Lewis in such an effective manner because it's like it's not just someone who is, trying to get back the glory days he wanted, that it kind of was a little bit of the vibe at first. Like he's been able to put his knowledge to good use. And like he's sort of living his dream while also potentially giving up his life to make sure the others. And it's like, oh yeah, you're a hero. Like you are a hero. He says to Lewis that he may never survive, and he says, then again, I might. Yeah. Lewis says, Captain. He's addressing Stanton, and she says, Major Lewis Kern, I promote you to commanding officer of the International Space Station. And she salutes, and he says he won't let her down and tells everyone to buckle up. And you know what? I feel like if he went out with this, like that's a pretty good way to go out, honestly. Like that's your dream at that point.
Right.
You've achieved commander of the ISS.
Yeah. Because he like thought he would never live out his dreams, and here he is living out his dreams at the end of the day. Like this whole like thing that Trip put them on was such a shit show, but at least at the end of the day, at least he's able to do this.
Right.
Yes. And he was so useful during like the other bits of things. Like he earned his medal. Like he earned that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he tells everyone to buckle up, and so when we go, not quite the end of things. Not quite. So Trip reports. Oh God, I punch this man so bad. He says, not only can I now report that NASA has confirmed that not only are all 5 macronauts alive and well, they're also rescued from the ISS was Captain Naomi Stanton. Someone asks whose idea it was to send the Inara to the ISS.
Not Trip.
Like, bitch, if you say one word. And he says, well, I won't say it was my idea.
And I'm like screaming like, because it wasn't, you dummy. Like, this man really is the smallest man to ever live.
Yes.
And I'm like yelling like that.
Like just that on speakers behind him. Like Taylor's
I literally did a video like this today too. Because I was like, oh my god, wait, I have an idea, and I had to do it like so quick before somebody else. This is just how my brain works sometimes, and I'm just like, when I'm able to connect things, I just love it. And it's just like, I was so mad that I didn't expect him to be like, give credit. But at least at the end of the day, at least he didn't claim it to be his idea. But I'm just thinking Karen deserves the recognition. So does her coworker that also helped, and Maddie. And like there were so many people that like
the real first responders,
real people, real heroes, the real heroes that helped. So I'm just like, Karen deserved that recognition. They all deserve that recognition because Trip, you literally did nothing besides almost kill like 6 people,
Yeah, and ignore advisement.
Yeah.
among many other
Uh,
things.
and so he's like, oh, there's a lot of smart people working very hard to make sure this mission was a success. But it wasn't. Like they got him safe, but it was not successful.
No, yeah, like
Like,
when he said that, I was like, make that make sense because nothing about this was successful. They got
Right?
up there and they were literally spun around. So much, all the stuff that could go wrong did go wrong. And this is
yeah.
like, nobody's going to be like, I really want to go to space after this, to be honest with you.
And I love Karen. She's like, none of those people are up on that podium, which is so true.
Amen. Even the people standing behind him, I'm like, you guys still, like, I get you didn't
Right.
really have any, like, necessarily have part in that, but you're still to blame. Not that they should be
They're
blamed.
complacent. They're
Yeah,
complicit.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
it just,
Because
yeah,
at
they
any point someone
still,
could have blown that whistle and still had opportunity to blow the whistle and be like, hey, he fucking knew.
Right.
Like, anyone could have done it, but they didn't.
yeah, and they're, like, trying to, like, repair his or keep his reputation. It's like, no, you should be tearing it down.
Yep.
I feel
Money
so passionate
talks.
about that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes on to say, but I hope no one here ever gave up hope. I will say no one here ever gave up hope. And that's what space exploration is about. Hope and future.
Like,
and I'm like,
oh,
bitch,
I could
I
totally
will
contradict
punch you
everything he
into
said.
the
Right?
I will punt you into the remains of the ISS. Don't try me.
Don't try.
We'll put you back into no, not even the whale. Just like put him like in a spaceship and shoot him up to Mars. It'll take a few years, but like at least he'd be up
Right.
there with the aliens.
Well, tell him we're sending him to
Well,
space
they'll
and then
throw
send
him
him
back.
down the Marianas Trench with the animals we don't know anything about.
Oh yeah, all spooky. Like don't
I
send
love
for the
it.
whale through him anymore. But I'll just drop him into the Bermuda Triangle.
Give him a tiny boat and Jaws. There we go. And not
We
let him
go.
have a bigger boat.
No, yeah, yep. And take away his technology.
Oh, he's getting
All
what's
right,
coming to him.
and then became Reentry. It is pretty scary, honestly. But we only just start to see the beginning of Reentry. We got a little bit to go before that. We go back, and Athena's in the hospital, and she wakes up, and Rick is by her side. I'm like, Rick. And he says how he's here. That here he is about to take the detective's exam for the third time. And I just love that. I love that. And she figures out a shortcut to promotion. Apparently those bank robbers were the same ones that hit another bank and 6 more. And Athena says how much of the credit, if you can call it that, goes to her idiot partner. And she asks when she can see him, and Rick has to break the news that he did not make it. And Athena's like, oh. And Rick tells her that he'll tell the nurses that she's awake. And before he leaves, he tells her that they asked if they should hold this, and he gives her her necklace with her ring from Emmett on it. She figured she would want it. Just again, it's just really good seeing Rick. And I'm like, actually, can he show up again a couple more times this season? Like, let's bring back some mysteries.
I was just thinking that today because I was like, oh, I really miss him, and I loved like the mystery type episodes that they would do. And if we were to get like a flashback scenario again, I would love to see like any point after this with him. I thought it was really cool, and they did really good casting wise.
You know who
Not
I
that
want
I'm
to see?
surprised.
You know who I want to see in a flashback if we're gonna go back this route again? Lou. I want to see Lou in a flashback. Yeah. No, well, I mean, he did get his throat slit, so I don't know if he's still working. Did he?
I mean, it depends.
I know for
I
that
don't know.
bit, but like, I don't know about afterwards.
Right. I mean, I
possibly.
don't know how far they go back. That's my one thing. Is
Yeah,
like,
but I'm just scared. Like,
I
if they did go
imagine.
back,
Yeah, I imagine they do. At least, like, I don't know. At least, like,
a few
maybe at a,
years.
yeah, like a detective level, maybe. Like for him.
Yeah, I would say I think could be cool, even if they like jumped ahead 10 years or something like that. They could. I don't know. I just feel like that'd be fun. Anyway, I was just thinking about Lou because I was like, wait, we haven't seen him in ages. But now, like, also, who knows if he's even still in the department after everything?
Right.
So, Um,
Yeah, it's true.
anyway, continuing on. So we are back in present time, and they made it to Reentry, sort of. We got everyone in Firehouse watching, and Buck seeing excited and being like, "They made it!" Because they did like they got the parachutes deployed, they broke through Earth's
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Mhm.
And Karen's like, "Not yet," because it was essentially they had to slow down enough, and it was already
Mhm.
going to be like head-on impact with the ground, and they're just winding up in like the middle of the desert. So
Mhm.
it's like, okay. Um, and they made it. I'm glad. I was a little worried they were going to drag out the reentry because of something I saw. I didn't see like the full thing online because I didn't want to get spoiled, but I saw something that made me think, oh my God, they're going to drag out the reentry.
Mhm.
And I was like, I was ready for them to be back Earth, like fully
Yeah.
Earthside. So
Right.
I'm glad like there's a little tension. We didn't drag it out too bad.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
like
kind of pleased.
yeah, like it seemed like when I was watching it that like I was like, "Oh, we're already this far in. I feel like we're gotten nowhere." But I don't know. It was just like I was wondering how long they were gonna take to get back.
Mhm.
In my before thoughts episode, I was like, "Oh, I really hope they don't like make like them getting back happen in like 30 minutes and then we just have like essentially like 10 minutes of like 10-15 minutes of like fluff."
Mhm.
And like I was just
Yeah.
like, huh, I don't know. But I
Yeah.
was like, and I loved when they did actually make it and just like their reactions because like Hannah and Athena are like smiling and laughing, which I'm just like, oh, I love her silly wee woo show. We went from like complete chaos to like them laughing about like being back on Earth.
Right.
It's like it's just a release of tension, you know? It's
Mhm.
Oh
like,
yeah, for
oh
sure.
my God, we made it. But it is everyone like Trisha was laughing too, and I just love that Naomi and Parker were both kind of side-eyeing them all like, y'all are fucking nuts. Also, to be fair, the captain still had a punctured lung. So she probably
Right.
was like, can I go to the hospital?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, and there was like
uh,
that moment, like when they're getting to the point of reentry where like Parker and Trisha like started holding hands because it was like, this
mhm,
shit is scary, so like totally understandable.
mhm.
But I'm just like I'm on to you,
Yeah.
911. I know I'm on to you.
I was tracking it from the first second they dropped it, like at least in this episode. I don't know if they hinted at it at all in the previous ones. I did not
I
catch
don't
it if
think so.
so. But I was like, oh, I spotted it earlier. I spotted this. I was like, ooh. So I will say that I'm a little disappointed we didn't get like real reunion scenes, but we were
Mhm.
sort of chomping down the time a bit. Um, so Hen makes it home and she walks in with Karen and the kids. And she tells the kids to get ready for bed, and she's going to tuck them in soon. And Karen and him have this absolute moment that I adored. Karen asks her how it feels to be an astronaut, and Hen tells her, or asks her how it feels to be a hero, and that Karen says she was just doing her job. And I just kind of love they did a little switcheroo in places there,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
especially, yeah, especially when like they'd already worked to save Karen in the earlier season. I do kind of, I don't know, I loved it. I was like, oh, I love them.
Yeah.
So then we get a news report. I just love that the same news anchor has been there the entire
Right. Yeah.
show. I'm like, you've been here for so long. Bless you. Everyone from the UNR is home safe. The space debris is clear and rebuilding efforts have already begun. And yes, the sky's fallen, but we're still here picking up pieces. And we see the couple from the last episode in the hospital. And that's tough. And we got like the way they kind of filmed that was I'm wondering if they're going to resurface in another episode because we got no dialogue. We just kind of got like they're both struggling. Like the husband's obviously feeling really guilty. The wife is struggling like with the loss of her leg, and like it was only a few seconds really, but I was like, I get a feeling they're going to pop up again, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like 50-50 on it. Like I didn't
Mhm.
originally think that they would pop up again, but they also kept it very like neutral and very open where like if they popped up in like a call again or just like scenario wise like something happens, like who knows, maybe they stop by the firehouse because whatever, they want to be like, oh, like, I realize you saved me or something like that. I don't know. It's
Right.
something random. I don't know what they would do. I feel like they left it where it's just like, oh, they seem like they're fine, but also like they could pop up. Who knows?
Well, my question was, and this may be totally far-fetched, but I was like, are we gonna like follow the line that they sort of left a possibility open for, that they might make a slight issue out of a field amputation kind of thing without medical direction? Now do I think that's gonna happen? I don't know, but I feel like they laid a possible framework for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious if that's gonna be like risen either by like the powers that be about like instating Chim permanently as a captain, or if they themselves are gonna. I don't know. I feel like there are a couple possibilities. We'll see what happens though. They could never show back up again. So
Right.
we do see Lewis in space. He's alive.
Yep.
And he's coaching.
I love that. It's like,
I am like, I'm like, is anyone gonna go back and get him?
That's what
Or
my
is he just
curiosity, because I was just like, so I imagine that like something happens where he goes back too. Like they're
yeah.
not just gonna keep him up here forever, especially since he's like kind of old. Like, just be honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, like, yes, he was promoted to commander of the ISS, but he's not got the full and current training to run it. And
Right.
also, he can't do it alone. Like,
Right.
obviously, Joyner and Stanton were up there together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm like, so are we leaving people up in space, or are we gonna
I imagine
them at
like
some point?
with whatever they have to do to get back to like quote unquote normal, I'm sure he like goes back down normally, because obviously like they kind of
They're
that
probably going to
how
go up and replace, but they're probably going to go up to repair the space station and pick them up at the same time. Like,
Right.
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
that's what I'm thinking happens as well.
Yeah.
But I just
But they
love
probably
how
also
he's
had to
just
wait for debris to stop falling.
right,
So,
Right.
which they had said that like
yeah,
that,
it
and then
stopped. But,
but yeah, I just love him
uh,
just coaching in space. Like, he's like, nobody's ever done this before. You've never seen it. That was so
and you
funny.
know what? The teenagers he's coaching are getting the time of their lives out of it.
Right.
They probably think that's
So,
the coolest thing ever, and honestly, it
oh yes,
is.
he's gonna have the ultimate like bonus points when he goes
Yeah.
back. Like, he really will. And then we get into we get into the juicy like little payback, because I was wondering how they were going to handle this. So Trisha shows up at Trip's company and gives him his ring back and tells him he might need to pawn it. And we're getting like voiceover from the news about something about stocks being exchanged or bought out, and ownership
Mhm.
like management
Well,
of Trip's
yeah.
company changing
You
hands.
had
'Cause
mentioned.
Yeah, because they had mentioned she had like a portion of percentage of his company because he kept giving her stocks for her birthday.
And like
I'm like my
holidays, and
Mm.
like
yeah, like
that
that's all I gave.
obviously backfired, which I didn't really
Mhm.
understand,
She
so I
was
kind of
taking
had to
over it.
look it up.
Yeah, I'm not knowledgeable about it, but I will take it. And he's all shocked. I love how he basically handed her his company though, like because he couldn't be bothered to be a worthwhile fiance.
Well,
Like, love it.
I don't really understand fully how it happened, but he didn't really hand it to her because she had stock. She was able to
Yeah.
do something, so that's kind of how she acquired it. And then like she essentially kind of like, since Parker's like a business
He was a tech guy
yeah,
himself.
tech
Like,
guy, he
yeah,
obviously probably knows ins and
30 guys
outs.
under 30.
So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my understanding with that is she owned a portion. So like when you buy stocks, you buy a percent of the company. And if she had say 5%, all she has to do is get enough people that add up to more than 50% ownership to take him down.
which
Yeah.
she
I
did.
think she owned only 1%, I think
Yeah.
they said, but she used that to take over. And she was like, bye.
But I loved
And
I have to say that I loved just her giving the ring back and like just being like, you might need to
Also,
pawn this because
she looked hot
obviously
as hell. Let's be real. Like she looked fire. She handed that
Yeah.
ring
she looked
back. She was
better.
boss
She looked
bitch.
better when
Like
she was out of space. Like I thought she looked much older in space, but then when you saw her just like in like real life, essentially, I was like,
Right.
damn, she is hot. Like hell yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And but
And
such a move.
she and Parker got together, and I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, like
I ship it.
she's clearly a little bit over. There's a date. I love it though. I love
I
it.
sort of ship
Like
it. I gotta be
I ship
honest.
it, honestly. Like, listen, he's a step up from Trip. That's for sure.
He's a bunch of steps up from Trip Hop, just like,
Mhm.
bye, honey. But like he was like, feel like he was one of those guys that like pretty much nobody ever turned him down or like stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like he
Well,
was
it's
just
like
like
it's the
so
money.
shocked that like
Yeah.
she dumped him, and I'm just like, good for you. We've been trying to
Yes.
tell you this for the past 4 episodes, honey,
Mhm.
and you finally caught on. We love her.
And
She's not as
y'all,
stupid as we thought.
y'all catch his security escorting him out of the building?
Yep.
Well, yeah, not his place anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't sure how I felt about the ending for a little bit because that part of me wanted to see like the expose, the like
Sure.
the dirty details get released in him. But honestly, I think I am thrilled
I
with
feel like
this.
this was like gratitude enough because I was like, they can't really put like much legal things on him. Although I would love to see like a later episode where it's like, oh, we just won this lawsuit against Trip, and now we have like X, Y, and Z because we already know
right.
he's gonna need a lot of money because he's going to be broke.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I can,
Because if this
I don't
tanks,
imagine they're
everything
gonna.
else.
Yeah, I can't imagine we're gonna get any more follow up with this, but
If we did, I would
it
love
is.
it. But if we don't,
Yes, yeah,
whatever.
that'd be great. Like it's decently wrapped up, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we go to Athena at home with the kids, and Harry is making them coffee. And Athena asks if he needs help, and because like the coffee machine's making some interesting noises, and they're all
I
just
feel like we were
genuine
seeing
silent.
like Owen Strand make a coffee.
Right.
Yes, it's
Like he's
true.
got this really expensive like espresso machine, and I'm just like yeah, I could never. I mean, I have like an espresso, which is not the same, very much different, but like I get it.
Yeah,
I love my espresso, but like I could never do that.
yeah. And so Harry's like, well, let the professional handle it. And Athena asks if May is sure she doesn't know what's going on. And May says that on the car ride over, there's the only thing they talked about was milk selection.
I love that.
Love it. Which also sounds like another Owen Strand conversation. Let's be
I was
real,
just
like while we're
thinking
at
that.
it.
Like, are we talking oat milk, almond milk, soy milk? What are we talking? Are we talking all the
Right.
Cashew milk,
dairy-frees?
like, like yeah. Uh, the whole milk versus 2%. Yeah. Anyway, um, he made their lattes and it's good. And Athena's like, I still want you to go to college, but it's a good latte. Um, and Harry says that he knows things weren't the greatest between them before Athena left, and that he's really sorry about that, not knowing if they were going to talk again. And Athena reaches out her hand and says she's sorry she hasn't been present for the last few months, and she wishes she had a great excuse. And May tells her that she's grieving. And Athena says, but so have you, and she is sorry they had to do it without her. And I'm like, thank you. These are all things that need to be said. Like, both her children acknowledging this and also her acknowledging her own
Right.
unintentional abandonment.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. All
yeah,
feelings are valid. I felt that
absolutely.
these and this entire time. I think some people were being a little too harsh on both sides of the feelings. People were like
Yeah.
bashing Harry for like the things he said, but it's like he's grieving.
Yep.
Athena's grieving. They're all grieving. Like, give them some grace.
And it's like, it's so easy. It is so easy to say stuff when we are not in the scenario.
Oh,
But
for
like, I, especially when you have experienced like that grief, um, and like, yeah, it's difficult to deal with. So yeah, just gotta give people some grace. I am glad they are addressing it like this and they are um sort of mending. Like they're bridging those gaps, owning up
Mhm.
for themselves.
Yeah. Just needed time.
And exactly. And Athena says that, she hopes they can forgive her. And May says, of course they can, and that they love her. Athena says they might regret having her back because they're about to have a hard talk about Harry's future. And she's not saying he has to go back to high school, but they need a plan for what to do next. And I knew this was coming. I'm just
We
Yeah.
all
saying.
we all smelled this
We
30
all
miles
did.
away.
Yep. And Harry tells Athena that it's okay. He has a plan already. And Athena is interested. And he says last night he sent in his application to join the Los Angeles Fire Department.
I'm like, we
Watching
saw it
Athena's
coming.
and I cannot talk. May's face.
Oh yeah,
May's
classic.
face
And
as she trying not to like spit out the latte that she's currently
Right.
drinking. And
Athena's like, you did what?
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a firefighter.
And like
And
literally he said that with the straightest face,
Yeah.
like no jokes, no whatever. And I'm just
nope,
like,
he's
we've been here before, we've been here many times before, technically. I
so many.
like I just like, but honestly seeing this scene, I'm not really mad at it. I'm
I'm not
interested to
mad.
see where they go with it. And I know a lot of people are like headcanoning also May, like with being like a paramedic, and I'm just like interesting.
I don't see if Harry's gonna become a firefighter. I don't know that I see May also going. I think she would be good at it. I don't see them both doing that. But I do
Yeah.
know
I'm interested
I
what
know
they
that I
do.
also know there's the like headcanon / ship of like May and Ravi together.
I
And I'm
know
just like,
it's
listen,
a heavy thing, and I'm like,
I could get behind it. I'm
I
not
could get
against
behind
it.
it because I
But also I
feel
kind of
like
want
they
like what is May
are.
actually gonna wind up doing?
That's my thing, is I'm like, they have to like say what she's gonna be doing because, well, I know she's still finishing up school, but she had said that, oh, she'll be able to graduate early. So I know at some point in the season they are going to like be like, oh, well, she's gonna do this. And I'm like, I am interested to see what that is because obviously if they're both like regulars on the
Yeah.
show, they're gonna like be like heavily in it, but I'm just like, what
Right.
are they going to do with
I
her?
Well, she may go
I
back to
think
dispatch. She's never worked with Maddie
there's
before.
that. True, there is that possibility.
I mean, her and
I
Maddie
don't
worked
know that
together
I
a little
think that's
bit.
gonna
They
happen.
were there at the same time. Not
Really?
like, yeah, a little
I like
bit.
I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but I do think they were there together a little bit. I know it was primarily
Training.
like May and Eddie,
I think it
but
was like in the training phase too, because I
Mm.
remember like Maddie like showing May like dispatching things and stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
I mean it's a little fuzzy, but I know she was there at certain point, even if it wasn't like the whole time. I know obviously some at some point because I think it was like more like a couple seasons before she went off to like school in the show. Um, because there was like multiple like different like obviously like quote unquote partnerships when she was dispatching.
See, I think like this does make sense in another way because it does keep Athena linked to the fire department. And I feel do we think Harry's gonna get assigned to the 118?
Why wouldn't he? I mean,
But someone would have to go is the issue.
well, not okay. So not necessarily
Mm.
because Hen and Eddie are on the ambulance, and we
Mhm.
have Chim, Robbie, and Buck on the truck. There is room for a probie.
True. It's
We
true.
had
We've
Robbie,
only
Eddie,
really
Buck.
worked though.
You know,
I feel like we've only really worked with pairs of two and then the captain for
right?
the most part. Like we've had Buck and Eddie, we've had Ken and Chim, and we had Bobby. So I feel like them adding a sixth, like it's not impossible, but generally since they're partnered up, I don't know. Like it's doable.
Yeah, I'm also like wondering how they go about it too.
Well, I need them to add some realistic time in for the Fire Academy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not expecting like if say he got hired next episode technically. I wouldn't want to see him anywhere near the station till at the very least the mid-season finale, which I know is technically a couple episodes away. But like I wouldn't
Right.
want to see him there until well into season 9B because it does take a few months to get through the academy.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm sure they're going to because we know that the next episode is Dias de los Muertos, which is November
Dia de
1st and
los
2nd.
Muertos. Yeah.
And the coach was coaching, and the school football season is usually the beginning of school. So that would be like September, February, October. So I'm sure there's going to be some sort of time there.
Yeah.
He's not just going to, because don't you have to have some sort of high school diploma or a GED to get into the fire department?
Yes, I believe you do. For career anyway. And that's where he's going.
He's got to get something done.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're gonna organize that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like just him going for his GED probably is just gonna be the end of it. Yeah, I'm just curious to see when they're gonna do this. But
And who knows
oh,
if
it is
he already did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they kind of use like dropping out as like they don't really like go further than that. They didn't really explain it. They just said he dropped out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Anyway, Athena's in monologue is just saying, so it says like the thing with the earth is that it just keeps turning, and what can you do except turn with it? And we get an end scene, and it's a flashback, and the guy from earlier, dun dun dun, is trying to start his car, and he's at like a construction site. And it doesn't start, and then he's being pulled over, quote unquote. But by who? None other than Athena herself. He's like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And she goes up to his window, and they're going back and forth, and she so smoothly gives him a ticket, and says that he wants to contest my numbers on the back. She says, "Have a nice evening, Mr. Grant," and he says, "Michael."
I'm like, I knew it. I knew it.
Also, I will say they cast him pretty well.
Oh
Yeah. And
also as younger.
I wanted to be like, so like, I didn't really think about this until like today, but I was like, or honestly, and even now, but I was just like, okay, so what do they do? Like, I get what they're doing like the Athena flashback and whatever, but I'm just like, okay, so what are they doing with like having this be part of the flashback? Like, I get it's part of her story, but I'm just like, all these seasons later, and we're finally getting this. Like, obviously, we know he's not coming back, like in present day, but like, even so, like, I'm just like, what was the reason for like, I get it, it's her story, but also like, I'm like, it does make me a little like, what, why?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I feel like that's a finality. We kind of finally now know everything. Well, not everything, but
true.
Enough to say we know how they met, we know how they separated, why they separated, and all of that. So like, we kind of now have the whole kind of timeline.
It does feel like we've come full circle because we also
true.
we know a lot about Athena's childhood as well, like with the girl that went missing.
Yeah.
Not that I could recite a lot of that to you right now because I haven't rewatched that ever. But
Florida is all I remember.
I don't remember much about it, but I do remember a little bit of sleuthing happening and all that.
Right. Yeah. And okay, all I gotta say is if 911 is just like randomly giving us like our like backstory, more of the backstories of the characters we've ever gotten backstories for, you can bring Eddie Begins up again. You can bring Buck Begins up again, or like backstory.
We could go deep into things. Like honestly, wait, you know what I want to see that is absolutely gonna break my heart? Go back into Chim's childhood.
That too.
With him and his mom.
Because I mean, like Bobby got
I
like
want to
three Begins episodes practically.
I want to meet the original Gian.
Yeah.
Like I want to like oh my gosh. I said that times. Guys, I'm tired. Okay, give me a break. I want us to tackle the Begins episodes again. And obviously I'd love a Ravi Begins. like
Yeah.
a little bit more than like the bit plot.
Absolutely.
Like I want that. I want to see Ravi again in general. Where like where was he? He wasn't in this episode.
Yes, he
That's why I
was.
saw it. I barely.
Who did Buck
Uh,
hug at the fire station? It was Robbie.
Okay.
I
To
don't
be
remember.
fair,
He was not really here.
to be fair, that wasn't the focus, so we weren't looking for that.
True, that is true.
I don't even remember seeing him.
Yeah.
I will be quite
There were
real
so
with
many
you.
people there that like and we're also like they need to get back to Earth, so we're scrambling. But
Yeah.
yes, Robbie Begins.
but
People
yeah,
have been asking
I
it
wanna get
for
there.
seasons, and I'm just like, we've gotten all these Begins, and like
Yeah.
I know Robbie is technically not a main, but he doesn't need to be a main to get a Begins episode. Like, just give the damn man a Begins
Yeah.
episode. His story is so interesting. Like when he mentioned like seasons ago to Bobby about childhood cancer, I was like, say
Yes.
more. Say more.
Say more, please, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all for more backstory.
Well, and I'll say this: I just watched 406, which is Jinx, and that was the episode that Buck was like, "Proby," and then like he says the Q word, and I was like, it was his first day on the job, and I was like, so we've had Robbie since 406 and barely know anything about him. I need to know more.
He's a landlord.
Mentioned, I was
he
just about
survived
to
childhood
mention
cancer.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's it.
They've mentioned like random tidbits about him over the seasons, but I'm just like, we need
I
more.
feel like it's been so random that I don't even remember most of them. Like I'm sure they've mentioned things that I don't remember, but like literally there's two things I know.
Also,
like
hear me out. I need like a Jinx 2.0. But
Yes,
instead of like
yes.
Robbie's like first or whatever second shift, it needs to be like Harry's.
Yeah.
Well,
then-
we need
and then
we
one
need
of them-
him we need him saying quiet and everyone going, "Did you
And then we need either Buck or Eddie, because I just see them most saying this, but being like, or even Jim being like, oh, here we go again.
here we go again."
Okay, just hire me to write this episode. Like, do I have
Yes.
experience? No, but like I could definitely do it.
What
Just
we
hire
need
us.
for season 9, I think, is just some replays of our greatest hits. And
Yeah.
I'm not even going to be mad about it. I just need them, like, because we're bringing back some older, like, episode feels. We're bringing back some flashbacks. We're bringing up the nitty gritty emotional bits of things. I mean, I kind of am not going to be mad if this is just like not necessarily a feel good season, but it feels good because a familiar season. That's what I'm looking for, a familiar season.
Right.
Because God knows I can't take any more of this.
Yeah, for real.
Gotta give me some time.
Yeah.
What are we feeling? Like, what are our end thoughts?
It's so hard because like I haven't like rewatched them all together, but I don't know. Like I loved the first 3, and I'm not saying I didn't like this one, but I also felt like I'm watching it and I'm like, was this worth it to do another episode? And like I think the story was really strong and I really liked it, but also like picking out like other things, like yes, I liked it, but I'm also a little like annoyed. Now after this, we're only be getting 2 more episodes. We're only gonna get up to episode 6.
Crazy.
So like basically November.
That's why are we ending so early? Like
November 13th. That's gonna be the mid-season finale. The like, and then yes, and like a blessing, we are coming back January 8th, so we're not waiting till March, so I'm at least happy for that. But I'm just like, we're not gonna get a Christmas episode. Yes, we're gonna get a Halloween episode, and then we'll probably get like one other episode.
Which I assume we're probably gonna get a little overlap with Halloween, but
well, it's supposed to be
like
Halloween. It's supposed to be like Halloween too. It really, because they actually like
they're about the same time.
Well, I just mean that like in the promo they labeled it as a spooky episode, like Halloween episode, spooky season episode, whatever you want to, whatever they said. So like it is the Halloween episode, but it's just like we haven't had a Christmas episode in such a long time. Like, I believe it was season 5, maybe.
5? Yep. I think it was season 5 because that's when Eddie announced that he was leaving the 118. And
Yeah,
like,
definitely is.
I would like that to not be my last memory of a Christmas. Also, the other Christmas episode we got before then was season 3 when Michael said that he had cancer. Can we just have a Christmas episode?
Damn,
That was
damn,
ages ago.
damn. These are the things we
I miss
forget
my
about.
short
I love whatever. Yeah, but I did like this episode. Honestly, I liked it a lot better than I thought we were going to because before the season started, it was not looking great.
Yeah.
But
They did not do a good job of promotion for themselves.
which I get, you're trying
But
not to give it away and like that kind of thing, but I don't know.
I could
It
have done
wasn't
better than that with Canva.
true.
Just saying.
I could have put something together
Uh,
better than that. Anybody could.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it was still like it was still a solid emergency. I don't know. I don't really have like a lot of thoughts on it. It was good. It was,
Same.
but not like top tier for me. Still good though.
How about you, EJ? What are you feeling?
As an episode, individually, I definitely felt like it was kind of scattered and rushed,
Mm.
but I'm glad I'm glad Trisha finally told off Trip and she figured out how to beat him at his own game. I liked that Athena finally kind of having that realization with the kids, like apologizing for how she's been acting and admitting that she hadn't been there for them while they were grieving themselves. So it was rushed, but there was a lot of great content in it. As a disaster, like I feel like there's some pieces of each of the first 4 episodes that could be removed and could have made it a 3-episode arc to give us an additional episode that's not the arc, but I think it worked. Yeah, so I liked it. Yeah, it was definitely one of the better disasters. I definitely feel like there's some disasters like I saw on our list and I went, what happened in that? Like it was like
So many.
So no, this is good. I've always liked space and underwater stuff, so I get it. And I sent you guys a text. This actually kind of reminded me of this movie from the 80s. I don't remember what years, but Space Camp is about a bunch of kids going to NASA space camp, and their teacher, who's a NASA pilot or commander, she and the kids get accidentally sent into space when the kids get to go try out what it's like to be in the space shuttle, and they have to survive and they have to go and get oxygen, and it's so kind of, this reminded me a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
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 Oh, it was good.
Yeah. I have a couple mixed feelings on this, but for the most part, I actually really liked this episode. I think my feelings towards it are much more positive than I expected to be, and very positive overall. Do I think it should have been a 4-episode arc? No. I still think we could have done it in 3. However, I was really worried about the quality of this episode and how in the world they were going to make it worth a 4th episode. No, actually, I really liked it. I liked the flashbacks. I liked everything. Like, yes, it was sort of scattered and had a lot of different things happening at once, but sort of the entire time they were really focusing on one thing, and it was Athena and her story, and everything kept leading back to that, and I liked it. I did. I actually was. This might. I would have to watch all of them again to really say, but this might have actually been my favorite episode out of the 4.
Okay.
I would have to rewatch, but I think I'm saying that right now because it elicited such emotions in me that I didn't fully feel on all the other ones. Because I was along for the ride on the other ones, still not entirely sold. I really wish they were not just doing 2 episodes after this though, because how in the world are we going to go basically directly into a mid-season finale after all this? Like, how are what is going on in there?
But I also think that I did see people comment on this, that basically I think the reason why they had to do this it was something they had to do because of the Winter Olympics being on in like February. So that's gonna like mess things up. So I think they had to
It's
like
usually
come back
broadcast on
early.
NBC though, and we're on ABC.
Yeah, but I think it's usually on like all the networks.
True.
That's a good point. Like, so they said they were coming back in January, right? So are we doing like a little bit in January and then, or are we coming back in March? So which one did I hear?
No, I said January.
You did say January. Okay, I think we usually come back in March, and that was what
Yeah.
was a little confusing. But so like, are we speed running this shit,
No,
or
I
are
don't.
we taking another break? Are we having like a mid season? Like, I don't
I
know.
mean, most shows do come back in like January and then have like maybe a few weeks or a month break. I'm not really sure. It's just like I did see people commenting on that.
It might be the
Or
month
it
break.
could be they want to
I forgot
shift
about
to
that,
going back to January instead of doing March because that is like a long
which I'm down.
break, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
So
can't.
they do a few episodes in January, and then if the Winter Olympics, it's usually in February, right after the Super Bowl. They'll probably be off for a couple of weeks because that usually lasts about 2 to 3 weeks, and then have more shows. Because we get a full season this year, so
Well, yeah, we got a
True,
full
that's a good
season
thing.
last year too.
Yeah. The God knows. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into the last season.
I
I've
know
said
we
it a million
forget, but I'm
times.
just saying that we got a full
No.
season last season.
I
It was
know,
the
it just
season
felt like it
before
was
that.
3. It was just feels like it was 3. Anyway, all that being said, I really enjoyed this. It definitely is up there as far as disasters go. And don't worry. Coming up soon, we're getting into the whole disasters bit of things. I do have a few questions on their choices, but overall, I liked it. I'll just wrap it out with that because I could keep droning on.
yeah.
Um, but so we're doing a little specialty segment since we've got like 9 seasons to choose from. We're doing a ranking of opening season disasters. Um,
Yeah, I saw somebody
and
post this on Twitter, I believe it was, and I was like, "Oh, this is a really good idea. We're doing this."
yeah.
It-
Funny
it-
enough,
we-
I did not see this until like you guys know this. I'm saying this for the audience. I did not see that we were doing this until we hopped onto record, and I was like, "Oh, okay, hold up. Let me do
It
this."
was a really
This is
funny
gonna
moment because
work
I
in my
had
defense.
well, it was only funny because I had said it earlier and like you just like, okay. Like I was like, I'm just giving you guys warning just in case you see a ranking thing at the end of the episode, you're like, what the heck? We're doing a
Yeah,
ranking and EG saw it, but like I get it. Grace was busy
yeah.
and I was like, oh,
I
she'll
was at
probably see
work.
it. Well, I was like, oh, she'll
I did.
see it when she's whatever we're texting later, she'll see it. And then I was just like, you didn't, but it's fine. It was funny.
the blank
I
I
get
stare
think
it.
at the
I
It's
saw the
Twitch.
can't wait. I think I saw the like can't wait to record and chat later bit, but I just didn't see the rest of it. Like I don't know how that happened, but I was like, the what?
it was so
Right.
funny.
When they were like, oh yeah, the ranking, I'm like, are we? And for some reason, I was thinking back to like when we would do like full episodes of just ranking. I was like, are we not talking about this? Did I miss something? I was
It
so
was very funny.
confused.
But yeah, it's like all the emergency disasters like ranks, so like the plane crash, the earthquake, tsunami, mudslide, the blackout, the crash, the cruise disaster, tornado, and then obviously the current one, which is the space disaster.
So number 9, we all said the
We
same
all
thing.
said the
The blimp.
blimp.
We
I
all
was,
Uh,
said
so I guess we all
yeah.
could say why. Well, for me, I remember this emergency very like not well, but I do the things I do remember about it is that basically they teased it up so much
mm-hmm.
and it ended up being like nothing. It was like 5 minutes.
So
Um
just
and I sort of remember like behind the scenes things about it because this girl that I follow that like posts TV things or whatever, she's been on she's been on extras and things and she was an extra in this episode, so I remembered that behind the scenes detail about it. So I remember
Yeah.
that and And it's just like this was nothing. Like it was like very quick, and I don't even
Mm-hmm.
remember what happened the rest of the episode, but I just remember it being like that's it. So for me, it's just like nope, bottom of the barrel.
Oh, the girl had the
Yeah.
heart monitor thing, the
Oh
pump,
yeah, that too.
and
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? The only reason why I
Literally,
remembered it was the guy, people who played the pilots, the guy and the gal. I knew him from other
mm,
shows I watched. That's all I really
yeah.
remembered.
See, I remembered it was a disappointment, and I remembered that the
Hmm.
female pilot was a lesbian, and that's it. And I
Yeah.
think I remembered what was
Yeah,
important about
those are
all
all
of
the
that.
important things.
That's all the important things. I was like, woo. Anyway, um, yeah. So all that is to say, underwhelming. Then so for number 8, Katie and EJ had the same one. I did not.
So
Uh,
the blackout. So okay, I have complicated feelings with this emergency because of like things that are going on in these episodes and just feelings. Because obviously this is the time I loved the part where the zoo animals got out. That was so fun, and I love that line.
that was
It is still one of my favorite
Right.
Bobby lines when Bobby's like, "I really thought this year was gonna be different," but then we have
that's my motto for
obviously.
every year.
Yep. I agree with that.
Girl.
Oh my God. And then we also have like Athena going to court because of Jeffrey. And then him
Oh
getting
yeah.
out of the court or whatever, getting free, then kidnapping Harry, and then that whole thing. And then also we have his lawyer who whatever
Oh God.
and then,
That was all the season.
And
yeah.
Lou.
And also Maddie in
Such a brother.
this is when Maddie had like her postpartum.
Yeah, she took off. She
Wait,
was.
you're right.
And it's just like so it's like emotional, but also all this shit happened and I'm just like, I want to forget this thing happened.
Mm.
So I just have like I guess more personal feelings and I don't even think the emergency was all that great. It was just like kind of like I honestly it's not good.
So mine was actually the mudslide. And I was a little torn on this at first on the 7 and 8 ranking. And I just was so meh about the mudslide. Like I don't remember much about it. I just remember like it followed the tsunami and I wanted more from it. And I didn't love all that we got. It has been a while since I rewatched it, but I don't think about it with really any fondness or anything. It's just the mudslide. So I might feel different upon rewatching, but honestly, this is where it sits for me. Just not.
Yeah, I said the blackout. I felt it was very underwhelming, especially being reminded of all the other things that went on. Yeah, it was just wasn't a good vibe beginning of season 5. I don't think like if it was just not. It didn't give me the push or the oomph that it sometimes did. And I felt like that was the first basically full season after our COVID season 4. So yeah, I just didn't, yeah, wasn't a fan. Yes.
To number 7.
So I said the mudslide. Originally I had something else there, but we won't talk about that. Um but uh I really don't remember anything about this one. Like I do sort of recall that Athena had to help people evacuate or tell people to evacuate, and she showed up
Oh, I
at
forgot
this
about that.
woman's house who was a shut-in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
And
forgot
I
about that.
that's
Yeah.
like the only detail that I remember about this emergency.
Jim helped like a bunch of I think trafficked
Pregnant
girls.
women's.
Yeah, were they trafficked?
I'm pretty sure I vaguely
Yeah,
remember
like
that.
that's the only thing I actually remember about.
I remember
And
something happened to the Hollywood sign.
oh
Oh,
yeah, like
I
these
forgot
kids
about that.
were like hiking up it or something like that. I forget. I
Yeah, and
don't
they
know,
got
but it
like a
wasn't
sinkhole.
memorable.
Yeah.
I do,
Um.
yeah, vaguely remember that, but yeah, not memorable.
For 7, I put the blackout actually. And it's funny because as you guys talked about why it was 8 for you, I actually remembered why I liked parts of it. Let me just say, the whole Jeffrey thing, the majority of it, particularly the like kidnapping Harry, I just blacked out. Like it's just not there because that was not my favorite, like my the bits I was interested. But like the whole lawyer thing, Lou's like the attack on Lou, the zoo animals, the just the chaos. I think my least favorite thing about this actually was that it did not make sense and did not have a satisfactory end. Like the actual like the blackout, what caused the blackout, like it didn't. Why? I actually feel like the space thing made a little bit more sense than the whole
It
blackout.
made a lot more sense, to be honest.
Like, what are we doing? So yeah, it's not near my favorites for sure, but now I kind of sort of want to go rewatch it. To be real. So I don't know. It's pretty solidly at 7 because I enjoyed a lot more than that, but I don't know. It had elements I liked.
Yeah, my 7 was the mudslide, honestly, just because I felt like there was a few more elements in it that were interesting over the blackout and the blimp. Nothing major to say about it. Like, yeah.
That's fair. So 6.
Okay, for me, I said the plane crash. This is obviously season 1, so I do not remember much about this. I do like remember obviously like the details and stuff. I remember like I see this clip online all the time of like that guy that called in to 911 and was wanting to leave messages
Yeah,
for his loved ones, which is obviously what people did during 9/11 as well.
right.
And there's that emotional aspect of it. I I know I do recall that after the plane crash, that's when Hen and Buck showed up at Bobby's apartment
Yeah.
and stuff. And that gets me emotional. Honestly, this one could have moved slightly forward a little bit, but I also don't feel like it should because I haven't watched it again in such a long time. And honestly, this talking about it makes me want to go watch it because
Yeah.
like I do not like season 1.
Mm.
But I would rewatch it for certain Bobby moments because I think like as some people will be like, don't watch season 1 if you watch that one, which I don't agree with. Because
You
I'm
have
like
to. It
Bobby's
has too much that happens.
yeah, Bobby's storyline in season 1 is like the reason to watch season 1.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, like, let's be honest, Athena's story as well. And honestly, everyone's story is important because it literally
the only
is
one
the
that
rest
turns me
of them.
off, and we get growth now, and I feel like I'd be okay watching it. I think the reason why in the past I never watched season 1 was because of Buck's storyline. It's just like a complete turn off for me because it's just like, but now that we're where we are, I feel more okay with going back and watching season 1. I'm
That's
like,
true.
oh, I could do it. But like there was a
From
time where I'm just like, no, we do not talk about season 1. We do not go back and rewatch season 1. It
It's
does
like we
not.
don't talk about Bruno.
I know, I think we did that in the past too.
I will say that like before I get into my 6, like it's funny because I feel like when I used to not be a fan of Buck, because if you guys have been around since the early days, I used to not be Buck's biggest fan. He was barely a character I liked. And he has changed so much, but I like him a lot more now. But I did not like him. So once upon a time I would have said storyline in season 1 would have been my turn off of that. No longer. Actually, for me, it's Hens because they put in the
Oh,
cheating trope in
yep.
Yeah.
their LGBTQ
And
couple.
I hate
Hated
that.
I
that.
hate that. Like, I will literally, if I
Like,
rewatch it, I will skip those scenes because just the fact that they had the audacity to have her cheat on Karen because
Karen!
of the full moon, that is ridiculous.
I
And
know.
it's just like, really, what are we reading? Like some trashy book? Like, I just,
Oh,
I can look past like that trope a little bit, but when you do it like that, I'm just like, no, jail time, jail. Like
Yep.
literally, that's criminal. And uh,
yeah, so bad.
like there are I don't know. There's just a few episodes where I think about like the Valentine's Day episode in like season 1. and then the plane crash, and
Like,
I know there
yeah.
were other moments that happened that were
Abby
important.
doing an emergency trike on or Craig
Oh my God.
on Buck.
Buck. Yep.
Yeah, that. Oh,
The
and yeah, I forgot about
tapeworm.
the whole Abby thing. That's a whole other beast. We
Oh, and it means so much different now.
Yeah,
it
because
does.
yeah, because Buck was the other man.
I literally like I just saw a picture of the mom and it's like, is that Tommy? To like Abby, her mom was asking. And she's like, no, that's Buck. I was like,
That
That
means so
is
much
so
more.
different now.
I
By
was
the way,
like,
now
Yo, I
that
still
just made
can't
me
get
really miss
over
Buck.
that they really did that, because that was
I
just
can't
like
believe it.
straight out of fan fiction.
Oh, I know.
I
For
just
sure.
imagine them like the writers just like scrolling through AO3 and be like,
Right?
this person did this.
Dude,
Let's use
just
that in
pay
the
an
show.
AO3 writer. Just pay an AO3 writer. Stop stealing our ideas.
Literally.
Oh, I hate that. Also, speaking of which, I miss Tommy.
Yeah,
Moving
I have
on.
complicated
Just
feelings about that, but that's a subject for a
That's a whole
different
other-
day.
that's a whole episode in and of itself. Yeah. Okay, so my sixth pick is the Binado. Um, I chose it less because of the actual bees part, and more because it led to the plane, and they're kind of the same emergency. And I thought the plane emergency was interesting. Like, I don't know. I think I just found it to be interesting. But like looking back on it right now, I'm kind of blanking on what I actually really like about it, which is an odd thing to say. But I don't know. It was like middle of the road. It was middle of the road.
My 6 was the Venado, which it could have ranked higher if we wanted to talk about the whole like plane. I mean, I thought the plane stuff was pretty cool with Athena and the kid. That was classic 911. But I thought the part where like the gal's in the pool and Eddie has to like run across the yard with his bunker gear on and the bee suit, and then get all the bees vacuumed off. It was kind of funny. But that it also brings back like remembering like Gerard was part of the 118 at the time, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I tried to forget about him. I'd like
I'm
to go
just
back to
thankful
forgetting
he
about him
hasn't
now,
come
actually.
up.
Right.
Oh God. I'm gonna push him into the whale myself.
You could be with Trip.
Him and Trip.
You'll be good friends.
Yes. Yes.
Roommates in the whale's stomach. Poor whale's gonna have heartburn.
It really is.
True. Honestly, no, we're gonna get a food poisoning with all that rotten food. No, the toxicity.
Gosh,
Can't do that.
that would be a red tide.
All
That's
true.
anyway, number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, so mine was the Binado, and this was lower before. I don't know. I liked this emergency when we were going through it. There's also a few things that makes me not like it. Vincent Gerard being one of them, because like he was the captain and I was just like whatever. There were funny things we got like on the side of the storyline where I was just like, oh, that's funny. But honestly, a lot of people talk about this, and I do sort of agree, where people were like saying how rushed like this storyline was, how he went from like the bees to the plane, and like things about the plane were kind of ridiculous, but like I get it. It's 911. Like they do ridiculous things sometimes. It's fine. But I don't know. There are things that I do that I think like there were cool elements that I remember like watching and even telling people that like people like like telling everyone that doesn't watch the show about it. I'm like, you don't understand. Like this is just like so cool. The Beast did this. And I'm just like, and I also have this lives in my brain rent free of just Eddie like running from the
Right.
bees.
That is a specific image that I have whenever this comes up, Benito. It's just
Somebody
Right.
actually dressed up as him as Halloween and did that whole thing. It was so
With the
funny.
the beast.
That's hysterical, actually. I love that.
I've seen so many cool 911 costumes. Like there's this one guy on TikTok that literally dressed up as Buck, including like he did the birthmark and it actually looked realistic.
Wow.
Which was super cool. And I'm like just like, okay, you do not look exactly like Oliver, but you could literally pass as him. It's kind of freaky.
That's oh. So my number 5 is actually the plane crash. And I really like the plane crash actually. Like it is actually one of my favorite parts of season 1. And my wish was always that either we got a larger scale plane crash because we've gotten it on other shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they could do something interesting. Like it was too short for
Yeah.
my taste, but it
Yeah.
was
One
very
episode.
impactful. It was a one
Mhm.
episode and part of one episode at that. But it was so impactful. Like it's been a while since I rewatched it, but I'm pretty sure every time I rewatch it, it does make me cry. Like, especially the voicemail that the guy left his pregnant wife.
Mhm.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
as you said, like the callbacks to 9/11. Yeah, it's hard hitting. Before we got like this was definitely one that used to rank up there before we got more emergencies, but it is definitely like on the good side of middle of the road. It would rank a lot
Mhm.
higher if it had more to it.
Yeah.
9/11, this is me asking us to do another plane, please,
Well, we
and
did
not
one.
the damn police officer and child flying the plane.
Right. 5. Yeah. So my 5 was the plane crash. I liked it. I felt like it was a very monumental thing because, that first season of a show, you're getting introduced to all these characters who all have a very lengthy backstory that you're slowly learning about. And the emergencies prior to that had been okay, but it was like it kind of felt like it was the biggest emergency, like for the season, and was like in the middle of the season. And then yeah, we learned about Bobby's history with drinking and how he lives, and then Athena and or Hen and Buck finding him afterwards, having fallen off the wagon. And yeah, so I think it was just a monumental thing, and it was good. I really liked it. And yeah, but definitely kind of in that middle ground, just because there's better, I feel. And they've done really well thus far, I think. They've definitely improved over the years. So
They made some of these choices hard, I will say that.
yeah, for sure.
For several different reasons. And on the good and bad end of things, but like definitely a lot on the good. So we all chose the same thing for actually we all chose the same thing for the next 4. All the way 1 through
Yeah.
number 4 through
Oh
number
yeah,
1.
so let's make this real easy.
So let's
Right.
talk about number 4. We all chose
Space.
Space.
Yeah. I
I
really
tried
did
to get
like
us to do it
this
together, but
emergency. I really did like it. It was, I don't know, it was a good emergency. Obviously, like we just talked about in this whole episode, like we thought it was a lot better than it was. I liked that it was like action packed. We really haven't had one in a while that like we finished the episode and I was like, that's it, and then we have to wait for the next week. And then we get through that episode, and I'm like we were on the edge of our seats till the very end. And
Mhm.
I think they did do like a good job with it. And I think space is one of those things that is like fascinating. And like I really haven't seen much like TV or movies with space, so I feel like they really tackled something that's like, oh yeah, nobody really does this. And we got some like cool characters out of it, like the captain that we eventually met in like the end of episode 3 and into 4. Like that was
Mhm.
cool. Um and I liked that I think why they did so well is because the focus was primarily on space. I get in some of the episodes
Mhm.
there were side storylines, but it honestly didn't like distract from like the main goal or like the main
I'll see
thing. They
I'll see
balanced
if
it
you notice
well.
Honestly, if you notice, a lot of our like lower ranked episode like disasters were either like side lined in their own episodes
Yeah.
or like were not well rounded. Um so I think it definitely says something. I really did like like this whole arc. Did I think they could do it? No. But they made it work and I'm
Right.
almost mad about it, but I like it. Um I just think yeah, it was just interesting and they threw themselves into it and they threw everything at the wall and somehow what stuck worked. Um and I think though, I really think it would have been meaningless if they hadn't interwoven like the grief storyline and the healing and the metaphors so deeply. They could they couldn't have made it work, I think, if they hadn't gone so hardcore on those. And I'm so glad that they did. And also like sort of loved the little on the nose metaphors about capitalism and stupid ass people, billionaires. Anyway,
Yeah, I can appreciate, and I think a lot of it too is for me, becoming from a creative standpoint too, just the creativity that it took to do this. Like with the CGI and the graphics and all the extras that they kind of have to do that they don't normally have to do as much of. So I think they did really well with that. I feel like they did keep us on our toes a little bit throughout these episodes. They didn't. Yes, I did feel like some of them felt rushed, but I think the resolution was great. The grief storyline definitely was important because we didn't really get enough time after 8-16 to really, like 17-18, we got a little bit but not a lot of time, and yeah, it was needed. But yeah, so I think, and yes, there was some interesting characters, also some highlighting of some characters that have skill sets that have been kind of underused because they're not a first responder per se, like Karen.
yeah.
She like had a huge role in that in a big way. Like if it wasn't for her, like they wouldn't have made it as far as they did. So just highlighting that the kids stepping up and seeing the second, like the younger generation of the 118 kids, like stepping up and moving forward and helping out. Yeah, a lot of great things that happened in that.
I definitely agree with like let's just appreciate Karen finally got her moment.
Yes.
I know. And it was like people were complaining about certain things, but it's like, y'all, we have all been like saying we want more Karen content for seasons, so let's not complain about her basically having like such a big role. It was
She
so
was the reason
important.
they got home. Well,
It
hands down.
literally,
Like,
literally.
yeah,
And
loved it.
like they actually took the time to actually like make a good, cohesive, like in-depth storyline that wasn't just like ruined or overshadowed by some other stupid side quest. I loved that fact of it as well.
So number three, and I will say personally for me, number three and number two, it was a difficult pick, but we all chose Earthquake.
The earthquake, yeah.
Yeah. I like this one. Honestly, it's not like the most memorable one for me. Not to say I don't like it, but it's just there's like it was always like in the previous season, it was always like tsunami and earthquake, and I always like tsunami more. Like yeah, there are like good moments in the earthquake. This is obviously when we first meet Eddie and like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Um, but and I mean
Also,
I'm
first meet Chris.
yeah,
Sorry, I
that
just
Yeah.
too.
wanted to give a little Chris appreciation.
Well, that too, but like I don't know. But I do like it and stuff. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't like I'm not remembering much about it. Like yeah, things come back when I think about it. I do want to watch it again. Um just because it has been like years for me. But it's like a good emergency. But yeah, just not one I remember all that much about, but it's still good. Like I do know the impact of it. I just don't remember everything.
Right.
Yeah. So the earthquake has long been touted as, I think, one of my very favorite emergencies. And honestly, for a while, I think it ranked number one for me. And I think there's just a lot of nostalgia based in it. That's why I love it so much. A lot of like, obviously, we met Eddie. We met Chris. We just got, I don't know. There's just something about the vibes of the earthquake that I just have not really seen redone.
Yeah.
And really it lost out on second spot here because number 2 is just was peak in so many other ways, and like technically was so much stronger, but it was a hard squeeze. I really was not sure for a moment where I was going to rank this, but love the earthquake, and I'm begging again, do another earthquake. God damn it, it's California.
Right.
Yeah, I would love if they did an emergency that led to an earthquake.
Yeah.
Like something else was like a catalyst for that happening. That would be really cool. Just so they can make it a little bit different and not have it be the same, like same thing.
I mean, we could have something where like they went and I don't know, they showed people out in the middle of the like over the San Andreas Trench at just as an earthquake happens and we suddenly go inland. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm like trying to think
Little
of the
10.5 going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, how could we do? Because earthquakes are very much just the earth through a temper tantrum. And so it's kind of hard to do a cause, but I was like, we could do something a little. We could do different vibes. We could do a lot with another earthquake episode. That's all I'm saying. Okay, shut up
now. Right. Yeah, I loved it for a lot of right reasons. We did kind of. It was like episode 2, 3 of season 2. So like we'd already met Eddie. We find out about Chris. But we see like Buck and Eddie, like the past was past, like they were working well together. We see them working together for kind of the first big time. We see Athena doing her own thing, like the smart she had. We meet Marvin, which we know then is cousins
too.
We do meet Maddie.
We did meet Maddie. In fact, I think that was her first day.
Yeah, it was. It's all coming back now, guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
I know Maddie showed up around them, but wait, was that her first day? No, it was.
No, it was.
And we meet Josh.
Yes, we meet.
Right? Did we know Josh before? We might have actually, but like,
I don't
remember.
I don't think he was in season 1. I think he did come in season 2, but like obviously his character canonically had been at the call center for a number of years.
Yeah, he knew of Abby. Yeah.
We're just gonna say he came in then because I don't remember him in season 1. So we met Josh. We met so many people.
We met Josh. Yeah, we met a lot of characters, which honestly I kind of feel like in that way season 2 was a really good like continuation of like what we currently have as the 118 now.
Yeah,
is what started in season 2.
Season 2 is like
it did.
I don't want to be like it was season 1 or like neglect season 1, but really season 2 to me, no offense to season 1, season 2 is a real start.
Yeah, that's what I've always said. I feel like that is true. And I know you guys are saying like, oh, there's great, and yes, you're right. Like there is a reason for season 1. And it's actually funny because there's another series that I used to watch, and literally season 1, at season 2, they literally turned the storyline around because a different network picked them up or something like that. Totally went a different direction. So much so that the character that was killed in the first season, the woman came back to play a major character in the second and continuing seasons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys about it later. But so I honestly kind of say like I don't watch that season 1. Like I'm like I skip over it. It makes no sense because it doesn't really go along with the true storyline of the series. after
Right.
that.
You either have a really good season 1 or you have a really bad season 1. I
Yeah.
feel like there's no in between.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a Lone Star season 1 or you get a 911 season 1. And I'm
Right.
like,
I feel like
Lone
Lone
Star,
Star
100%.
got better with the seasons, minus maybe like the last season. But like that's just my feelings. But I feel like 911 was very up and down. Like there was like a bunch of good seasons and then of course the episodes. But like that's here nor there.
Right. But anyways, yeah, no, I really love the earthquake. And isn't one of Buck's girlfriends the one they rescue in the hotel?
Yep.
Yep,
Wasn't
Allie.
it Allie?
Allie.
Allie, yeah. Love Allie. She didn't get enough time or credit,
Yeah.
honestly.
Number
Yeah,
2.
but no. Number 2 is the cruise
Cruise
ship.
ship. That was hard. Like I seriously bounced around. Like, do I put this at number 1 or do I put the tsunami at number 1?
Yeah, for me the cruise ship is definitely a 2. I do really like it. Um, I think the one thing for me that does put it higher, which I know some people don't, is I like that this is like something that Bobby and Athena are doing together. Like they're having to save each other essentially, or like Bobby's like saving Athena mostly, but it's
Well, yeah.
I think it
Mostly.
was a cool emergency to see, and like the way it was filmed was also cool,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like, and then obviously we had like Norman and what's her face coming back. Can never
Yeah.
remember her name.
Oh,
Doesn't really
oh
matter.
God.
I'm not gonna sit around and wait for her name. I don't really care. They came back, and I really like Norman. I wish he would come back because I actually did like him.
Yeah.
I thought he was very likable.
Lola.
But yeah, I wasn't gonna like think
Yeah.
about it
I was
too
like, I'll
hard.
think about it. Yeah. Like,
Like
oh,
if I remembered, I remembered. If I don't, I don't really care. Because honestly, she could just go. But
Well,
I
yeah. Oh, not bad.
yeah, it was good. I really liked it. I don't really know what more to say, but it was very enjoyable. That's all I'll
yeah,
say.
Lola was
And like
played
the
by Finn
rescue, the
Hudson's
way the
mom.
118 rescued them, and like
Yes.
Hen being like, and oh my God, one of my favorite scenes is in that. Like one of my favorite scenes, it's like the Who Cares
Who
scenes. Like I
cares? I just
literally
watched
have that
cares?
sticker on my water bottle. That's how much I love it. And people always comment on. They're like, I'm like, yeah, it's in a show I really like. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, it really reminds me of just like work. I'm just like, who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah. Yeah, I love the cruise ship. Like it is definitely a solid 2 for me, but I don't know, it just was so good. Like I think about it, I was like, oh, now I kind of actually want to rewatch it. So
Mm-hmm.
all the things we listed, I'm not gonna go back over them, but like all the things we listed, plus like for me, we all know me. Tommy shows up again in that, and I love Tommy, so that
Yeah.
was great for that reason as well.
Right. Yeah. Great solid 2. I think it's gonna be hard to have anything place it lower for me unless
Yeah.
it's like majorly good. Yeah, and it's always funny when I see Glee characters, like Glee cast coming into other shows, especially when I know this is a Ryan Murphy like production. So like the gal who plays Lola is Finn Hudson's mom in Glee.
Oh, right.
And Kenny has played a character in the series too. So it's just always kind of funny when so yeah. But yeah, I like that. I think this is a really good one for Bobby and Athena to like work together when neither of them are working, like they were on vacation and then all of this stuff happened.
Yeah.
And like Athena she can't go flying. She can't go on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
I think she's got to stay on solid ground for a while. She can't go on a spaceship. Like
Yeah,
nobody's
she's
gonna
gonna be
want her to
like,
go anywhere.
do you not ask me to go anywhere?
She's like, I'm road tripping for the rest of my life.
I'm walking, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
number 1. Dun, dun,
Tsunami. Yeah.
Oh.
There wasn't placing this lower.
No.
Yeah,
It's still the most peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally impossible for me. I've seen people say like, "Oh, the space actually beat that out." And I'm just like, Interesting.
It was good. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like to each his their own. But I really like the tsunami. I like very strong like Buck moments obviously in this time. Buck and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just so many things that were so cool in like this disaster. Like there was the girl that had like the drone and Maddie had her
Mm,
fly
yeah,
it to like check
that
something.
building.
I also remember there's this guy stuck up in an attic and he had been in a
Oh,
different show I
That
watched.
was a
And
tough.
I
Yeah.
remember one of my good friends like was like, it's this guy. And I'm like, oh it is. And it was so weird. Um and just I just have always liked it. I don't really know what to say. It's always just been like a top moment. Like it was so good.
Well, every character was really put through the ringer. Athena
yeah.
and May and um
Yes. Can't
the
forget that.
street on the cars and all the electrical stuff and the water. I'll let Grace go first before I babble on.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
babble on. I can go last. Like, I don't
Oh
mind.
no, I just yeah, there was a lot of great stuff in that. I mean, we got the Chris plus the storyline of like Eddie staying at the vet VA and helping out with triage, and Bobby and Chim and Hen working bringing the using the mail truck to bring all those people back that had been, the carbon monoxide or something had affected
Yeah.
them, and the just knowing that they went to like Mexico to film where the Titanic filmed was really cool.
Mhm.
The Ferris wheel and all that rescue. Um, yeah, it was really good. We did meet Lena Bosco in that
Yes.
Yeah, I kind
art.
of forgot about that. Did not very like her very much.
Uh,
And
no,
honestly, I know she's
Mhm.
problematic in real life as well,
True.
so
Yes.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She was actually.
Yeah.
Was she? It was like, oh, she was. I'm watching The Floor, which is hosted by um, Rob Lowe,
Rob Lowe.
and which every time I watch that, I'm just like, oh, I miss Owen Strand. But she was one of the clues on there for one of the characters, and my roommate was like, "How did you know that?" I was like, "She was on 911."
Yeah, I love this emergency. It was just so well done. And I think it wins because it hit all of those emotion points. And um I think I said a couple episodes back that we've kind of lacked a little on some of those like any emotion, like we've yet to hit that level of peak for
Mm-hmm.
emotions in an emergency since then, and I stand by that. Even though I don't know, space did give her a run for the money on the emotions. I will say that because damn.
Mhm.
Uh, but I was just so and it was just so good, and like the Buck and the Chris of it all,
Mm-hmm.
and like the underlying Eddie and Chris of it all as well. Um, and all like I forgot about the Athena May, but yeah, the Athena May dynamics as well. And it just hit on so many different fronts and
Mm-hmm.
ripped your heart out into a million pieces a million times and then threw it back in, being like, "Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Walk it off."
Right. And even the aftermath of, like Buck, and he was still not a firefighter at the time, yet he saved people, and the whole Eddie, thanking Buck for saving Chris, and yes, that's a big line. Yeah. I think we could talk about the tsunami for an entire episode on its own,
Yeah.
just because
I
there's
Yeah.
so
know.
much to talk about. I mean, I even mentioned something you guys had forgotten earlier, which I just could kind of spaced on too, but it was about Athena and what she had did.
I
Um,
know. I honestly think we could revisit some of these earlier storylines because like the earlier storylines because we didn't or we talked about them like in all one episode for some of them. So I feel like
mhm,
we didn't really get to like a stat like talk about certain things. So I feel like we could revisit them at some point. Um
Yeah.
because it would be like almost like watching them again. And I know there were like plenty of episodes in like the earlier seasons. I think maybe in like seasons 3 or 4, I don't remember. It doesn't really matter that like we skipped like even the calls because we just had to talk about the main storylines to get through it because otherwise it would have been a very long podcast and we just
Mm-hmm.
did not have the time
Yeah.
for that. Yeah,
At
maybe
least we get
someday
nitty-gritty.
we'll revisit them again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do we have any fan thoughts?
Yes, I think there's just one. Um, but it says, I loved Athena in this episode. I had always wondered what happened to her partner that she got put with because she has never mentioned him or anything. I hate the that Athena has gone through so much and has lost so many important people in her life. I also love that Harry is becoming a firefighter, and we will probably see Buck be his mentor to Harry like Bobby was to him, which makes me happy because they are totally siblings. I actually really like that part of it too because like I never really I guess I didn't give it much thought quite yet. I'm sure we would have got there eventually, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is true. I feel like Bucks are already doing that, but they're just going to develop that even more, which is definitely going to be
Yeah.
interesting because we have never really seen him in a mentorship role, but now he's kind of at that point where now he's taking on that role, um, which is very cool to see. And then I did also put a thing for like a ranking, and I will like make something for socials too because I think it's always fun. But so this person's ranking. So Blimp, then Space, then Beanado, then Cruise, then Mudslide, Blackout, Plane Crash, Earthquake, Tsunami. That is a very interesting ranking.
It
Yeah,
is.
I
I would
think it's
be
interesting
curious
how
to
it was almost
hear.
flopped from what ours was.
Yeah.
Some of theirs
Yeah.
are like the same as our first three, but I think it's very interesting. I love when people rank things, and I
Mm-hmm.
had
Yeah.
seen somebody post about this online as well. Like, how would you guys rank it? And I think it's interesting. I definitely want to read through these more, and obviously, we want to hear about what you guys thought about this episode, and also like, how would you rank these? Like, because such a personal thing. It's not even just about how you thought the episode was. Sometimes it's
Right.
like your feeling towards a certain scenario
Mm-hmm.
or storyline. Because I definitely have complicated storylines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I love that. But yeah, going straight into the promo. So so the 118 shows up, and whatever, and at like this call, and someone says it's a demon, and he's like being like a demon, and then yeah,
Mhm.
so this is like the like Halloween episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Diaz de los Muertos.
yeah, that
It
too,
is my
but
bones.
Um, and Maddie says 911 emergency, and this guy is saying we lost your pumpkin, and Maddie is like, "Sir, a missing pumpkin is not an emergency, but it's like this huge inflatable pumpkin that is going across the streets of LA, causing all this chaos." And I had seen this like behind the scenes thing. I want to say back in August, so
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was coming, and I knew it was part of a Halloween episode, but I was just like, okay, I wonder what this is gonna do. Then we see get to a scene and she's saying how she's in position to neutralize the suspect. And then Eddie says how people see things they can't explain all the time. And then Buck looks like he's moving into where he's living. And Maddie's helping him. And Buck is saying how he's hearing voices at night. And he's like, I think it's squirrels. And Maddie's like, well, maybe it's ghosts. The way she holds up a ghost, it's funny. And then Buck
Love that.
is looking in his attic, and I'm like, "Sir, what are you doing?" And then he sees something and starts screaming, and I'm like, "Sir, don't you know
It's
not
the
to go
inflatable
up an
pumpkin.
attic?"
I'm just joking. He found the inflatable pumpkin in his attic.
I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like, and he's doing it this at night, and I'm just like, "Sir, what are you doing?"
I'm like, first
Um,
off, don't go in the attic at night.
I don't even like going in
Yeah.
my basement at night.
I live in the basement. I don't like being here at night.
I mean, so
Sometimes.
does my brother, but like, I could.
We had a blue jay come down our chimney and end up in our basement one year, and I went down for 4th of July and I looked over at our chimney, and there's a blue jay just sitting there staring at me. I'm like, and I was like maybe 10. It was hilarious. I was like, yeah, that's creepy. There's bugs down here. Spiders.
Yeah. When I was a
Creepy.
Yeah.
kid, something similar happened. I can't remember what it was, but something got in our chimney. But now, literally nothing can get in there because we have like one of those fireplaces where you just turn it on. Like it's not like firewood or anything like that. So like it has to be like sealed up at the top or something like that. So nothing can get in there anymore. But I am really interested to see what they do with the next few episodes. I know like this episode, the synopsis says like the 118's beliefs are put to the test as they respond to emergency calls involving a jack-o'-lantern and a few more jump scares than they are expecting on Halloween. And I'm really interested to see like with the whole demon thing what Eddie's response is because Eddie tends to be the one that's like, nope, that's not real. That's
Mhm.
not thing. But it wouldn't surprise me if like Peppa or Abuela talked about demons with him
Right.
growing
Yeah.
up and then he's like,
Oh, for
that's
sure they
not
do.
real. Like that's not a thing. And I'm just like, Eddie, I get it, but like I'm also like, yeah, these are some crazy things.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this episode too because I feel like this is going to be a good one for because we've never really explored Dia de los Muertos, which is usually celebrated on the first and second of November every year, um, often in Mexico and some other countries, and it's to celebrate the people who've passed away. And I'm with Chris having lost, his mom, and Eddie losing Shannon and some other people in their lives, Robbie. I think it's really cool that they're finally kind of diving into this part of Eddie, which I think he's kind of been on the fence of in the past too, like his religion and his faith and his upbringing. And I always liked learning about it when I was taking Spanish because I took Spanish in high school for 4 years, in college for a year, and in fact, I'm craving pan de muertos, which is a bread. And I'm like, I have the recipe, I just don't feel like making it, but I've been craving it.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a good way to remember people you've lost. And I think it might actually be good for Athena too to experience this.
Yeah, I'm interested to see
Yeah.
what everyone's part in this is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be interesting. I'm glad that we're touching on Dia de los Muertos. Um, just because I don't know, I feel like it doesn't nearly get enough attention in the media. Literally, my favorite piece of like one of my most beloved movies is Coco because it does
Yes. I
such
was
a
thinking
good.
Yeah,
about
I
Coco.
I
love
still need to
Coco.
watch that.
Oh my god,
It's good.
I cry every time. Cry like a baby. So that's really good. I think I'm maybe a little apprehensive about how they're gonna do things because I hope they do something with Athena. Um, considering that, she just lost Bobby and of course it's gonna be difficult. I do think it's interesting that like they are taking a storyline with Eddie, but I think ever since the absolute shit show that was last couple of seasons with the topic of Shannon, his grief, him throwing his entire life down the fucking trash, I am a little gun shy about the topic of Shannon and
Yeah, that
all of
is
that
true.
coming up. I am kind of, we are not handling it right, so I am tired of it being brought up. And I
Mm,
hate saying that, but that's kind of how I feel. And I don't know. I just have such a complicated relationship with Eddie as a character after everything that they did, and um the topic of his grief and Shannon and his family and his religion and all of that. I would love it to be continued to be done well,
yeah.
but we've not had a recent history of doing it well, so I'd rather they not do it. So we're gonna see. I'm just a
Yeah.
little bit more skeptical, maybe.
Yeah.
But overall, I am interested.
That's that. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I think you're right. So they've tread lightly with this. I'm going to keep my blinders on, I think, for just like I'll stay numb and then like process it after it's over.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. Be sure to subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts and check us out on YouTube. For more, visit 91lsroundup.com and follow us on socials at 91lsroundup. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And of course, come join our Discord community. The links down below and on the website.
You guys can follow me, Katie, at Tarlos on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads.
You guys can follow me, Grace, at RondenRafa911 on Instagram and Threads.
You can follow me, EJ, at EJ8302 on Instagram and Threads. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.